Everything is wanting to do what it wants to do. Okay, hold on. What is this? Girl, why is my phone hot and then shut off? And them demons said, hell no, y'all is not about to do this. Well, yes, we are. Yes, we are. All right, is it on? Jess, are you there? I'm glad to see you're back.
And it's still saying my shit's locked, but it's not because I just put it on there.
Girl,
Like,
they trying by every means necessary to not let this happen. Because let me tell you how this phone it's fully charged and it's off now.
What does it say? Or is it? Oh, but it'll take that picture. Shoot.
Oh my God.
It won't let me flip it. It's telling me my shit.
Well, I'll fix it. Let me see. I'm gonna shut it off and then I'm gonna refix it. I'm gonna just leave it on the other one, okay? And then it'll be top and bottom that way. So just so you know. So let me see if I can fix it. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good. But why is it saying that? I unlocked it.
Okay, so now we have to figure out where the chat is. So
it says auto rotate on. Why the hell? The hell?
Okay. Oh, okay. Hey, Queen B. Okay, so I see her. All right, we got that. We got that. What are we missing? So I got Twitch. What am I missing? I got Facebook here. YouTube is now on that version, on that desk. Maybe I should put. Okay, I don't know, because girl,
go somewhere else is gonna disconnect somewhere else.
That's what I'm saying. So let's just get into the message. You go ahead and let everybody know and then we'll go ahead and go from there because literally this is nothing but you already know the message is they're trying to stop the message. So that's why apparently this must be about to be good. Okay. They said, oh no.
Don't do it. Don't let it out.
Yeah, it's on the way. Okay, so let me get my candles and set my stage because apparently I need some incense or some cleansing on this thing because we need some spiritual healing out here in the street streets.
Can't do it. They're gonna fuck everything up.
Listen, y'all see the disorganizing. That's what happens when you go on Discord. Okay, it said what it said. Do you see how things are powerful? Because what did you find out? Remember we were talking about water and what water says, the information it has on water. So listen, y'all. Be mindful of what things are saying around you because those words have power. And I started off with Discord this morning, the actual app, and that's all I've been getting is Discord. Okay, that's it. That's all. Good morning, Wayne. Okay, so it looks like the people are able to come back into the chat. I don't know if they're getting kicked out or what's happening, but hopefully everything's great.
Probably did because I was like, what happened?
Right. So maybe I should actually put it here so that way I can look at it and see because apparently it's a whole lot of happening this morning. Okay. So let's see. All right. So I'm gonna put the live chat here. And then that way I can see at least what it's looking like.
Okay, let me go open the door real quick.
clearly. And then there's no like now it's probably not letting people show up now. I bet. Oh, come on. Okay. Queen Be My Life. Are you able to hear us properly and is everything going well? Because from what I see, they are trying to do everything. The system is trying not to let this happen, and I don't know why, but okay. All I'm trying to do is have a wonderful, amazing conversation with some like-minded people, and that's
Without
it.
some discord.
And I won't do that again. So we shall see what's happening because as of now, okay, it looks like it's running an ad, and that could be also why it's not letting anybody in. So let's skip the ad. All right, so I see it's working. Okay, Al. All right, I see us. We good. Now I don't know if it's sound, but we'll
I hear
just go
you.
here. Okay. So good morning, Jessica. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Amazing. Welcome to the channel.
Glad to be here.
Listen, as you seen this morning, we've been trying to get you on, and apparently there's lots of technical difficulties happening.
It's a lot of opposition because they're obviously opposing something that they don't want said.
Okay, but we just gonna go ahead and get into the flow, and we're not gonna let whatever just happened hinder us, and we just gonna continue to keep moving on. So you and I
Keep
were
it.
having an amazing conversation this morning about accountability. Good
Yes.
morning, Prestige Girl. Okay, she said the audio's working, so we ready to go. Okay. So Jess and I were having an amazing conversation this morning. We were talking about accountability when everybody's saying, I'm doing the work, but I'm not receiving the gifts or the blessings or the this or the that I know I'm supposed to receive. Jess, what was your take on that?
My take on that is now this was a realization that I had of mine last night. So a lot of people are wondering why they're not receiving, why isn't the universe answering what's going on? And it made me kind of self-reflect to the fact that I was recently in a 7-year relationship, and even though it was fights and everything like that, I came to the realization that to get into that relationship, even though it taught me a lot, I had to take accountability for myself because the universe only gives you what you are vibrating to, what's your frequency at. So I can say that, it was a horrible and all of that nonsense, but why was that? It wasn't just his fault. I was vibrating to that frequency. So when you hear all this, it's toxic, you're codependent, it's a narcissist, you have to take accountability because you attracted that. You were vibrating at that codependent level. You were vibrating at that narcissistic level. You were vibrating at that toxic level. And a lot of people aren't realizing that fact. They're just kind of putting it off on the other person, which is, you can't lie to the universe. You're going to have to take accountability of why you attracted that relationship to you in the first place.
Okay, so what about this aspect? Because I'm a person that I said I've been manifesting my whole entire life. And we also have talked about when we say frequency and people vibrating at certain levels, some of that is as above, so below.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I don't believe in the I was vibrating at that level because I was at a very positive high level when when I met my person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so good morning, Larisha. So I can't say that I was vibrating at his level. I was on a different frequency, but I was wearing rose colored glasses for that person. I
Yes.
thought and I wanted that person, so I kind of looked past some of the things that that person actually was. So when I hear people say, and I know you, me and you talk, so I know good and well, like there's another side of what you just said that you also believe in as well. Because me manifesting from the time I was a child, I wasn't vibrating on or a teenager because I was doing some things that probably wasn't or what people would say is
Yeah.
was
Most
negative.
people, most children aren't negative. They're very high vibrational.
But
And
remember,
so
teenagers and 20s, and I wasn't paying attention to the frequency. I was drinking and doing the things that I felt like I wanted to do at that age. But somebody would say that that's not a good frequency.
but being who you are, you can still manifest at that frequency. But see, since you were wearing rose colored glasses and you were looking past certain things, you were accepting that vibration. You accepted that vibration. You were transferring his vibration to your vibration. So you're initially inadvertently accepting that plane of
So it's
existence.
almost like inviting a vampire into your house. Like if you
It's,
invite the energy, then
yeah.
it can come. But
Yeah.
like I said, my level was here
Hmm.
because even when the person started to do certain things, I said, "Why are you doing that?" And I
Yeah.
kept saying, like me and you are living two different realities, but because I loved the person, I looked past.
Abundance.
So we
Yes.
spoke about this morning love, how love is a frequency all on its own
Mhm.
that will allow us to wear rose colored glasses,
It'll
date
allow us
potential.
it'll allow us to do a lot of things. It'll allow us to break all laws, break all rules, and it'll allow you to vibrate at a level that you don't even think you're vibrating at and attract things that you wouldn't normally attract
Right.
because love spans all spectrums of time and space.
So there was
So
something that you read to me this morning. Do you have it accessible so that way you can kind of let them know what we were talking about?
so let me see. Which part you want the last part about the Messiah? That one?
Whatever part you want to read, because I think that it was all kind of like relevant to what's happening with everybody that comes to tarot and the
Here,
things
okay.
that are on their mind right now, like what's actively happening in the tarot community, and just in. Do you think it expands past? Good morning, Keisha. Do you think it expands past the tarot community?
I think it applies to all social media because this is just happening in the tarot community. It's happening everywhere. I mean, on all social platforms. And that's the thing. When you're behind a screen, it's easier for you not to take accountability for your actions because you don't have to answer to anything. It's like a sim world. You know, you play your player and then you put it down. You don't have to take accountability. You don't have to go to jail. You don't have to, wind up having a baby or anything. You put it down. And that's exactly how people are looking at it. And I think that's across all social media or even platforms like that because it's like a video game, but not. It's a video game dealing with real people, and that's what people aren't getting. That what they're saying, what they're putting out there, is actually having effect on real human beings. Because just like you said, when you go to tarot, you're usually looking for answers. You're not looking to be terrorized. You're not, and so when that happens, it sends you because a social platform can send you into a state of panic real quick. How is that?
Exactly.
How is that? And that's real life stuff. It's really affecting your life. And it's even though it's just an interface, it's really having an adverse effect on your total existence.
And that's a fact. And so a lot of tarot readers don't understand, like they're saying tarot is for entertainment purposes only, but there's an underlying thing happening because as you know, once you can tap into higher realms or once you can tap into lower realms or once you can tap into the spiritual realm itself, those people are now coming to gain some knowledge, some awareness, some access. And although they hear the word entertainment, all they hear is, that's my life. Like, how are you speaking of my life? And then instantly they go into believing the situation and the circumstances, because again, we know the underlying.
It's like a hook, line, and sinker bait.
Yes.
And so if there is something ominous, which there could very well be, because you're dealing with the occult and supernatural, if there's an underlying ominous present, then that's like fresh meat to it. That's fresh meat. It's like, oh, well, we got you now. If we can, and what I've learned is, when you resonate with something like that, it's because whoever is behind that reading has tapped in somehow to your energy.
Good morning, Maria. And that's a fact. So
And
a lot of people are channeling, because some of these tarot readers are really gifted. And
yeah,
whether
they
or
are.
not it's paranormal or whether or not it is unscientifically proven,
Mm-hmm.
it's
It's
still
still,
stated that some of these people are definitely tapping into your energy. Thank you, Maria. Tapping into your energy, because I literally just watched the tarot reader this morning say some stuff, and I'm a tarot reader. But I literally heard this woman say houseway, and I've been watching this woman for a while. So either she's watching my stuff or
or
she's
she's,
tapping into my energy, which I don't know this lady. I didn't give you permission. And she tried to say it slick. So that's another thing that I've been wondering, and that's been coming across. Could certain people be targeting you based off of people that you know?
yeah, I would say yes, because, once they find their end, that's their end. Once
Yes,
they get that internal reaction out of you, that. Have you ever noticed that once you get that in your stomach, like, oh, you connect, kind of thing, the whole reading turns.
yes. And now all of a sudden, you're just believing everything that comes out of these people's mouths when somehow they have in. And again, some of these ladies are gifted. I'm not taking that from them. They're gifted. I have watched them. But I don't know if y'all actually paid attention, because when you come into the occult world or esoteric, or, whatever it is, or whatever you want to call it, or whatever your in is. Marie Laveau is one of my favorite occultists or mediums or witch or whatever it is that you want to call her. She was a badass bitch. And New Orleans calls me. So when it's something about that place that calls me. But even with her, she did hair. She was a hairdresser. So a lot of people would go to her, and I don't even know why I'm explaining this right now, but apparently it's a thing. And not take anything from her, because again, she was a bad MO, okay? But her being a hairdresser gave her in and access to other people's business. So when the people would come to her, she already knew who the person was. So she could add her channeling, because I'm not going to listen. I'm not crossing boundaries or lines. I'm just giving y'all the 3D version of how it can happen. If somebody knows your business, or they have an in from somebody that has been paid, and I'm not saying nothing about her anymore, and we're going to cut that off. It was just, that was the one of the things that they thought, because she was a hairdresser, it gave her access to people's business.
She was very powerful.
Oh,
Yeah, she's that's my father's great grandfather's twin sister. So I mean, and my dad did not, anything magical, anything occult, he was like, nope, 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 don't want to hear it. No. And I never knew why until just recently. I was like, oh,
I wasn't
okay.
to say that though. That's not why.
I was like, oh, okay. On now, now I know why you never wanted to get into that, because that's
Right.
So, but I mean, it just, her having that hairdresser in is like your feeling when you identify with something, and maybe they're taking that as that's okay to go ahead and proceed.
Yes. And so, Letitia, good morning. Okay. I can hear you now. Okay, so they're saying they can hear. So, like I said, not taking anything away because she's one of my favorite because I know she was powerful. Um, but here now in this realm, we have new people coming into tarot trying to gain insight, knowledge, and wisdom. And tarot is a journey all on its own. And that's the thing. You have to learn that tarot is teaching you to step into your own personal power. It's teaching you to unlock the code that's in you.
And
And
no one's journey is the same. You all have your own individual journeys, and it's all going to be the way that you want it to be because you're actively manifesting that. That's why when you see all these people go to these manifesting seminars paying all this money and then coming out and wondering why they're not manifesting, because they've been doing it the whole time. They just haven't found their niche on how they're doing it.
you have to manifest in your own personal way.
Mm-hmm.
So let me tell y'all yesterday, and this is something that I spoke to my son about because my son showed up, he surprised me, came in from out of town. And so the car that he had, I'm like, oh my God, I like this car, right? So he said it's not even the one that sitting on the dock of the bed. Good morning. Um, so my son says we leave. I'm driving. So I said the police officer for some reason he was coming like we were like this. So he was coming, we were going, but we were both had to make this turn. So I'm making a right turn. He's coming this way. He's got to make what is that, the left turn or something.
Yeah.
So I said, I noticed that he kind of was like behind me. And then I said, so the cop is trying to, so I'm watching my speed and everything. My son said, Mom, this is not the kind that he wants. They always pull over the Hellcats, the ones that have the bigger engine. So I was like, well, why is that? Either way, so we're just driving and me and him are talking. Literally not even a half a minute, 2 minutes later, the exact car that we were in pulls up, but it's the Hellcat version. Mind you, minding his own business, black guy. I couldn't see it because his windows were dark. I literally watched this cop he was in the third lane. So I'm in the first lane, the Hellcat's in the second lane, and the cop's in the third lane. He literally swaps lanes to get behind this Hellcat and pulls him over. Like literally, when the light turned, he hit the lights. And I said, Zamer, you just literally spoke that. You just manifested that right in front of me because I'm thinking, okay, why would they do that? When it happened, I said, he profiled that guy. This dude did nothing. He didn't rev up his engine. He did nothing. He just pulled up. And just like my son said,
your son helped him profile that guy. He was like, hello.
And then and I told my son, I said, watch him try to use the fact that his tent was dark.
Yep.
That wasn't it. Literally what my son just said, and I don't even know where the other car came from. That car was not even non-existent, but somehow it appeared to show me exactly what my son said. And I told my son, you better watch what you say. And my son said, Mom, I know it's already been happening. Okay, well, I'm gonna need you to figure out what you want and how you want it and bring it forth because you manifested that so quickly.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right in front of me. We didn't even drive but about a mile or two.
And that's how it should be happening. And when you get into the flow like that, usually when you realize stuff is happening like that, because I've been there, and it's like you kind of get nervous because it's like, oh, whoa, okay. And so then you wind up losing that flow and trying everything to get back to that flow, because it's very eye-opening when the universe is straight up just like, here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go, and it's like, whoa, wait a second, what's happening here? And it's amazing, but it's scary at the same time to know that you can hold that much power over your life.
And we do. And we do that much power. Good morning, Antoinette. And so the other part is this. My kids have been learning to manifest since they were younger because I'm their mom. So of course I teach them certain things in order to manifest. I also teach them certain laws and things that they should not do. Like when I was talking to the channel members and I'm saying, you can't steal. A person that steals, if you notice, they will always continue to keep having to try to steal over and over again. It's a law. You cannot steal. You
It's
steal,
like,
you get stolen from.
That's like a lie. You got to keep telling lies to cover up the first lie, and it's like a snowball effect on all of that.
Exactly. Good
And
morning.
it's difficult because you really have to be you have to have integrity with yourself to know that your boundaries, what, because easily you could just take this and run with it and wind up in a ditch somewhere because you done fucked off, and a lot of people do that. And it's you have to be okay with yourself and know yourself and know, okay, this is getting a little too much, let me take a step back, let me take a breath. Let me, get my grounding right.
And that's
Because
being accountable, correct?
yes, it's being accountable and knowing what your limits are and what limits you don't have. Because you can take anything can be detrimental to you. I mean, shit, a box of cupcakes. One cupcake's great, but a box of cupcake can be very detrimental to somebody. You
Right.
know, it doesn't matter what it is. It's the same thing.
Sitting on
It's
the
it's
document, they said liars and thieves are one and the same, and one steals the truth and the other lies about theft.
And but see, that goes to play in with your morals and integrity though too, because I know growing up when I had my first place, I had somebody steal my jewelry, and I was like, oh, that sucks. But he came back like 5 months later, knocked on my door and was like, I just wanted to give this back to you because ever since I took this, the stuff has been happening to me. But his thought was to, oh shit, I took this and shit went downhill, I need to return this. So he was able to consciously put two and two together, because most people wouldn't get that. They
Yeah.
really would. And so he brought it back and he said he was sorry and everything, and I hope things got better for him after that. But
So there's a thing that I keep telling people, that stealing from the universe is a thing. And I'm sure people listen to it and they said, oh, I can't steal from the universe because if I manifested it, then it's mine.
But the thing is also, when you're trying to manifest, if you're not in alignment with what you're doing at the moment, what you're expecting, what you want to come in, what you're ready for, it's not going to work either. And if you do get something that you're not in alignment for, it's going to be gone real quick.
And we talk about hacking a system, hacking the universe, because we're learning that mathematical code plays a whole lot of importance and influence into kind of
And
trying
see,
to backdoor some things.
and I've done the same. I've created water with bottles of writing, because I'm really into water and programming. But for a long time there was like an oppression over me, and I didn't know what it was, so I was frantically trying to get out of it any way that I could. But what I did learn was the universe is not going to give you something that, first of all, you can't handle, and secondly, that isn't for you at that time. So you can wish for it, but if you're not ready for it, if you haven't like covered your bases, then it's not going to come in. And if
So what
you're in
about
the
the people that
wrong
get it?
connection
What about the people that get
connection if you're with someone, say you want $1 million, if you're with someone who's just going to use you for money, you think you're going to get $1 million?
But what about the people that get it though?
And then they burn through it and it's gone, so it's like they never got it at all.
Or and then you get drug into a spiral, a cycle, because
Yeah.
sometimes you can get something that is not in alignment with you or you didn't ask for, and then it takes you down the darkest pit or hole.
You might
um,
even lose your life. Shit. you
because
know
I know a frequency, I can do a frequency, and again, a lot of these people, some of these people are gifted. Last year, because I keep saying something about last year, us repeating certain cycles and things, and I literally watched because everybody's, now we're spiritual. Now we're tapping into spirituality. Now I can manipulate energy and this, that, and the third. What did we talk about manipulating an energy?
That's all fine and dandy, but whose energy are you manipulating? You can manipulate your own energy, but when
Always.
you start manipulating somebody else's energy, that's considered an and you're gonna wind up having a backlash for that.
Yes, because that's a violation. That's somebody's free will that you're now tampering with. So just
Yes,
because
and
you
that's
like energy, or just because you can do certain things, don't mean you should. Like I can go around and say I learned hypnotism.
does it mean
I'm
you
not the
get to
guy
hypnotize
that
people? I
hypnotize
mean, like,
people. I want to please do what I want them to do. And then,
yeah. Well, what about their free will of doing what they want to do?
or then you hypnotize the wrong person, and then all of a sudden the backlash from that now stems over everybody that you did that to
And now
without them
you're in
knowing.
an illusion.
And
Yeah.
now
Now
you
you're
got a real gangster witch on your ass that's now have been given access
yeah to
because
fuck
you
you
literally
up.
just did what you thought you should do.
Yeah, and then they get to do that to you, and then you're wondering what the hell happened. It's like because
And
it's
not only to you, just into your entire lineage,
yeah,
into your family lineage or your heritage. Ancestors are saying, oh, we got to do something about this. Like this person, like we either got to kill
like
this.
what did you do? What did you do? Yeah, it's not a good. But
Because
see that comes with discernment as well. It's like, but some people don't have that. I
Robert
don't
Bay
know.
is saying, how do you get out of that scenario? What scenario are you talking about?
Oppression, is that the one? Because that was hard for me to get out of. It was, and it actually stemmed from the guy that I was with, and I had no idea.
Letitia saying, thank you for this conversation this morning as well.
You're welcome.
Okay,
But
so
the
the guy that you were with, you're taking accountability for the guy that you were with. Why? Because a lot of us say, "Well, it was them, and I did
and,
everything that I could to make this right, and
and
I did nothing
I've been
wrong
there.
for this person."
I've been there because I'm like, he was a dick. He was an asshole. He treated me like shit. Da, 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 da. But what was I accepting? And what was my vibration at the time when I accepted that? That's the thing. Are you taking accountability for that? Because just because he came into my life, I was at that. I had to accept that. I had to, and that's me telling the universe, okay, I'll accept this vibration. I'll live in this frequency.
Because also one part about that is red flags. Red flags are given to you to say stop.
Yeah,
Don't
I'm
don't
cool with that.
continue
No,
on.
we're gonna keep this right here. We're good. Yeah, that's when you need to look for red flags, because if you don't look for those red flags, then you wind up accepting whatever vibration he decides he's gonna come with, and
Yes,
you're
or
gonna
she's going to
and
come, or
that's
she's
exactly
going to
what
come
I did.
with.
And that's exactly what I did. And that's when that feeling of oppression came over me, because I was like, whoa, wait a second. And it was heavy. And I was like, what is this? And I had no idea that it actually came from me accepting this person in my life. And bless his heart, because, he taught me a lot of stuff. And like this morning, I came to the conclusion, if he finds a woman that's better than me, I could not be more happier for him, because that tells me that he has elevated himself above the frequency that we met at. And that means he's growing. That means he listened to what I was telling him all those years, because he was not spiritual. He didn't know anything about none of it. So if he found someone who's going to sit and support him and be there for him and back him, I have nothing but love for that man, because that means that I fulfilled my soul contract and I did it right, and it's signed, sealed, and delivered, and he elevated and grew from that. And
And
that
it's like
that makes me happy.
when I said a person told me that everybody that loved them the most lived in a different place, and regardless of how I love that person, um, their happiness was important to me. So let me take you to where everybody that loved you the most is. Okay, but
And a lot of people these days are like, oh, well, my ex is this, and it's like, you know what? like that thing I read, you have to, the lesson we're all here to learn is to love thy enemy, even though that is the hardest thing to do. When you can walk in that vibration where you love your enemy no matter what he's spewing at you, you have all the power.
Yeah.
You gain power to create miracles in your life because you have that unconditional love that vibrates over everything. And it just, that's when you can create everything, when you can get past that little whatever it is. It says, you know what, yeah, you did this to me, but you know what, it made me a better person. When you can
And
see it
I'm
that
accountable.
way,
And I'm
yeah.
accountable for how I let you do that to me.
Yes. And that's when it all shifts and it turns to something different because your whole attitude will change after that. It's no more poor me, poor me. It's look what this man gave me. Look at this blessing that this man gave me. Look at this. He woke my ass up with his shitty ass behavior that I was steady complaining about. But look what it did. It made me a better person. It made him a better person. That's
Well, we
what the
don't know
goal
what
is.
I mean, it could, or it
It
could just,
could, and that's my greatest hope for that man, that he can grow and find someone, because that means he's growing. And that was my job, to get him to a level where he is now awake. He ain't asleep no more.
well, I
He's
love
not
that you say
walking.
that. I love that you say that because in my case, my person was never asleep. He's been awake, and I'm not giving them anything. I'm not wishing them nothing. I'm wishing them anything that God aligns, because my feelings and everything is this for that situation. I'm not giving energy in either way.
Hmm.
I am
And
not void to the fact whatever that person gets is going to be whatever God does. I don't care. I'm not supposed to care. I'm only
see,
supposed to know that I love that person. I can still keep saying I love that person, but I
that's
don't
good.
have done.
That's
I don't what you did, and I don't like. I don't like the person that you turned into because I know that energy was not that. So that person has to deal with that. I'm gonna
yeah.
worry about me. I'm gonna focus
Yes,
on
and
my.
that's for the next person to accept.
Yeah.
That's you've accepted it. You've learned your lessons, and you're moving forward from it. And
Yeah.
that's what.
So it don't matter to me what happens. I'm not looking back because God told me to keep my
Yeah,
face forward. Otherwise, you're gonna turn into a pillar of salt. Do you
he
want a replay of what happened? No, I do not. I'm gonna just go this way.
that he taught you what you don't want to have in a relationship, right? He
Yes,
taught you what you
definitely.
won't stand for. He taught you what you will not tolerate.
And that's a fact because at the end of the day, I'm peaceful, but don't start no one beating them.
Yep. And that's a good, you can be that way because as long as you can take it and turn it, instead of being, well, I hate him, da 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 da. If you could turn, you know what, thank you. Thank you for coming into my life and
And
doing
that's what I
what
said.
you're
You hear me saying
supposed to do.
thank you. I said thank you because guess what? I am more powerful now
Mhm.
than I was when I started that. And that glitch actually did something to my mind, to my brain, and has now put me on a different level. So that's
And
why I say thank you.
in all reality, you are doing this. You're doing this. You set up your own lessons that you have here to learn in life.
So
That's what soul
let me
contracts
see.
are.
Sitting on the dock of the bay says, how do you get out of that scenario? And he said by someone manipulating your energy.
You first, like, recognizing it is the first thing.
I was being aware.
Yeah, you got to be aware of it. So
And you
then,
become being aware by being aware of yourself. Like,
yeah, and knowing that don't feel right, that something's off with that, and then you learn how to protect yourself from it.
and
And
I
if
can
it,
even go one step further. This is we're creating daily routines, daily rituals, things that you know you are gonna do no matter what. So if every day you get up, you take a bath, you brush your teeth, you do this, you do that, and then all of a sudden you start falling into a depression stage, you know that's
mhm,
not normal.
yeah,
Whereas, and I mean depression as far as because we're nobody's therapist, we just talking about what happened to us. So meaning now you're not getting up at the same time every day to brush your teeth or to comb your hair or to clean up your house. All of a sudden now your house is falling in disarray when that wasn't you. Like I knew I was thrown off when all of a sudden I wake up very, very early in the morning. One of my favorite scriptures in the Bible is a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman, she gets up, she takes care of her family, she does this, she does that. So all my life I woke up at a certain point in time. When my schedule started being thrown off, and yes, this can be altered by like your job or like your kids, if you have, you start to do those things. But literally creating habits that you do every day is the first signal. When they get thrown off, something not right.
See, and it's easy. What people don't realize is they can protect themselves easily as incorporating something like when you brush your teeth. You can say over your toothpaste, this is while you're brushing your teeth. This toothpaste is protect. Like everything is labeled. I'm a big thing on labels.
She
Like
is. We
Discord,
talk about it all the
like
time. She is.
Discord. What does it cause? We were
Cause
having problems
havoc.
with
It
Discord
literally caused havoc.
because that's the way the universe looks at things. It's literal. So you can say, okay, guess what? This toothpaste is going to protect me from anybody trying to manipulate my energy and brush your. That's all you got to do. It's just the label that you put on it because everything is energy. So if you don't want to incorporate a meditation or you don't got time for that, that's understandable.
But you
Shit,
can
brush your
meditate
teeth.
by walking. You can meditate. You can meditate literally. You don't have to do it the way everybody tells you, and that's the thing. They keep trying to
You
put
gotta
you in
do it.
a box. You can meditate any way you want to. Like literally, when you walk into your car, you can use that as your time to say whatever it is you want to say to the universe. I'm powerful. I'm.
take,
I'm
go take a pee, shit, because I'm not a meditator. I never have been. I have two disabled children. I don't got time for that. So when I get out of the shower, I got a special oil that I oil myself down with that protects me from everything and anything, and
okay.
it's just
So
as simple as that.
sitting on the dock of the bay says, good morning, Lizing, from Barbados. So we have people from Barbados watching us too. Thank you guys. I moved a girl and her two kids, and within 1 month, the kids moved out and she flipped on me. So now she has been gone for 2 months, but I accepted her for who she was and what she had gone through. So
That's the greatest thing that you could do is accept somebody for what they are and who they are at that moment that you meet them,
and the other
because
part is just because you accept people for who they are, and hey Tayron, just because you accept people for who they are, what they are, and the things they do, don't mean you got to bring them close to you. Because I had a friend that I kept saying, everybody kept saying, why do you hang out with this girl? All she does is gossip, and all she does is this, that, and the third. And I happened to notice that I had to get away from her. Like I moved away. Things change. So when I would call her, if she started talking about other people, I wouldn't listen to that. Like I can't listen to that. But me saying I accept her for the person that she is, but I noticed that, and this is the thing, if they do it in front of you and you
they
don't
do
like
it
it,
behind
they
you.
do it to you.
Yep.
That's the thing. So that's one of the things that we have to be very, very mindful of. And everybody kept saying, why do you still hang out with this person? Why do you still talk to this person? I'm saying, well, because I know who they are, and I still love them for who they are. Not realizing that attachment to me was fucking me up. I had to literally completely sever the attachment in order for that energy still not to affect me in any form or fashion. So it's okay for you to accept people, but nobody
Yeah.
told you got to bring them close to you. Period.
Yeah. And people don't realize that they're creating cords of attachment with every person that they bring close to them.
Okay, Tamara,
And
how are you?
and
You
that's
I have
that's a that's
for the people that
that's a real thing. And it's like, they talk about cutting cords and stuff like that. Sometimes it's not so easy to cut those cords
yes.
because they've dug in, they're dug into you.
And what
When
we
I
were talking about entanglements, remember what was the thing the other day?
that's that's a whole
What
quantum
is it called?
entanglement.
What is it called?
Quantum entanglement.
Oh, quantum entanglement. And y'all listen. So I had already did the reading, and I was saying it was surgical, because
Mm-hmm.
you have to be mindful that when things get entangled, like she said, quantum entanglement or soul ties, because those are strings that we have to this person. And then you got to think that when you're having sex with this person and then they're lying and they're having the sex with this person and that person, this person,
Yeah,
this person,
this lady was like, I'm sleeping with my man, but I'm actually sleeping with 5 people because he's sleeping with 2 other women who are sleeping with 2 other people. So that's 5 people, just me sleeping with my man. And that was like, oh wow,
so
you
just
know,
imagine now spiritually.
you done took on the energy of 5 different people just sleeping with your man.
Especially when you're empathic, you're now taking on
Yes.
those people's energy, not
Yes.
realizing it's not your shit.
Girl, that almost blew my mind out the water when that shit happened. I was like, what is this? I was like, these aren't my voices in my head. Wait a second, what the hell is going on here? But I didn't really know that man's past until we became, and I was like, wait, what's going on with me? Because I'm highly empathic, and I have to be because I have 2 children that don't speak. We have to speak intellectually, mentally wise. So when I took on everything that he had done, my mind almost like split in half because I had so much energy and attachment going through my head. I was like, whoa, wait a second, what is this? So it's a real thing. And if you're empathic, you're automatically you don't even have to sleep with him. Just being next to him,
Say
exchanging
that.
DNA with
It could be
is
as simple as a touch or just being in the energy presence, depending upon how sensitive you are in your skill.
yeah. And it's as simple as that. And it's like taking on the history of a person, especially when you're intimate with them. You're taking on the basic, and that's like what I told you with him. He's a fire sign. I'm a water sign. I walked around like I was a damn fire sign for like 6 months. I was like, what is going
The
on?
Pisces too, just so y'all realize. So we can embody energies. So she's a
And
Pisces as well.
and I thought I was a fire sign. I was like, this something's not right. And I was telling my friends, and they're like, what are you talking about? I'm all, I don't know how to explain it. It's like we switched energies because he was now not a hot-headed fire sign. He was getting emotional. I'm like, what is wrong with you? What
So
is
listen, we have Letitia saying, yes, those attachments are crazy. I had to learn I can't fix everyone's shit. I need to help, but accept everyone and to stop. And Larisha said, then you got to perform cord cutting rituals. And sitting on the dock of the bay says, so my intuition says she is not coming back. I accept it, but fearful. What if she does?
But if she does, you should know. You would know already to halt that at the door. You don't accept. If you accepted it and you're okay with her not coming back, then you stand on that.
Don't
And
let
you,
a vampire into your house
because
across your threshold.
you'll go through this, you'll repeat a cycle, you'll straight up repeat a cycle, and that's how you keep going around in a cycle. It's like, oh well, I'll just let her stay over the night. No, how are you? I'm glad you're okay, but you know what? That's you we're not doing this
Somebody
again.
smells like very familiar in my chat. And I'm just gonna say it because again, it's an underlying thing that keeps happening. So we're just gonna know that we're being observed. So we're being observed just so you know.
Get observed all the time. Shit, I live by myself. Put it that way.
Um so let me see. That all males since she was sleeping around, so 3 strikes, she is lying, cheating, and stealing. Thank you. And I love your bells. Thank you. Okay, so back to something else we were talking about the cord cutting and it being very surgical because they don't
And you
want
may
to
have
clip.
to do it one or two. You may have to do it a few times. You know,
And
what
the thing is, certain cords
can't be cut.
can't be cut. So it's like when
Be
they're
dampened though. That's the thing. They may not be able to be cut, but they can be nulled, I guess is what you would call it. They can be put on hold. They can be quieted. They can be where they don't, you no longer, you, if you don't want to disconnect this cord, then I choose not to receive energy or give energy to this cord. There's ways around it.
so what
So
I say was surgically speaking though. Just imagine a ball of string though. And it's like, well, we're gonna say your veins, your lifeline,
Mhm.
because it being surgical, like you going to the doctor and the doctor saying, this vein or this thing is what's creating the havoc, but we can't clip these other cords because this is
Just-
something that you have not experienced yet, or this is something that you haven't, that you still need to fulfill. So they got to
Yeah.
clip these cords, and sometimes it takes time. And we as human being people, we want to rush. But when God is dealing with you and trying to sever certain cords, meanwhile it's now tangled up into a whole ball. We got to figure out, and you got to be mindful because y'all saw my finger regenerate. Y'all saw my finger heal. Just what happened.
Shit.
What
What happened to me?
about your finger?
Yeah, I was fighting with my children's father, and my finger got cut off in a door, and they told me that it would grow back. And I was like, wait a second, I'm not a lizard. I'd never heard anything like that. I figured they were gonna stitch it back on. Nope. They were like, it'll grow back, and it sure enough
And
did
you
in
got
record time.
so y'all realize she had, and it was only a portion of it, but her finger's fine. So just imagine cords and people that are wanting to regenerate.
Yeah.
And you're saying, I don't want your energy. I don't want to deal with you.
They show up at your door. That's when they show up at your place saying, "How are you? I missed you. I haven't seen you." That's them trying to regenerate a cord.
Your home and your windows. I rebuke you. Like I rebuke you. Please just go. But again, you have free will, so you don't have to take on that energy. So that's why even the guy, like, that's one of the things you're talking about. If she shows up, that's one of the energies.
It's the test. Do you really mean what you say? Are
And
you
again,
ready to get over this, or you want to do it again?
yes,
That's
because if you let her in, what's gonna happen? It's gonna grow.
you're gonna just go around and you're gonna go around that tree again. And it's like, and you can learn a lesson numerous times. You can learn a lesson, the same lesson till the day you die. That's the thing. You can keep that lesson perpetuating around that damn circle until the day that you kick it.
Okay, so back to the other thing. Okay, so we got tattoos on our ring fingers. So spiritually married, we figured, and she wanted it to prove that she could commit and she could not. Okay, we're gonna talk about tattoos because y'all have to be mindful what you put on your body because all of a sudden you start to act in a certain type of energy. So
And that's like the whole music industry right now. Everybody wearing these chains, they don't understand that they are being branded by an energy. You are being whoever possesses that
they
energy,
understand.
whoever's in
We not
command of that energy,
understand. They
yeah,
understand
you
completely.
now they don't realize that they're falling under unwillingly. They think they're rocking a badass chain. No, you just became somebody's minion.
Somebody's bitch. I took accountability for not seeing the red flags and continuing to stay. I appreciate it doing this love. Yes, but guess what? I didn't see red flags and I still stayed. Like, so we are human beings and we choose what we
I've
want.
been waving. I've waved those damn red flags. I'm like, look. Yeah, still stayed there. I'm like,
And then
no.
on top of that, it's like I just posted that there's a if y'all are not following my Instagram, it's Golden Girl 302 GURL, not GI. Okay, so what happened was the guy was saying, I love you, I already love you, like he's looking for his person, and somebody would look at that and say it's toxic. So I was laughing, although I did notice something in the middle. Remember what I told you? I said, because he says, I'm gonna take everything from you. And that let me know that these dudes, a lot of these men are not as sleep as us women tend to think that they are when it
They're
comes to
not.
spirituality and soul ties.
How
Because when
could how
he said that, what did that make you feel?
that I would have been like, wait a second, what?
But meanwhile, I'm over here saying that's the level of toxic that I need a person. I need you to be
And
obsessed with me
it's
because I'm gonna be
like,
obsessed with you.
but yeah, but then it kind of plays into, we all want to feel loved, we all want to feel needed, but how much do you want somebody to need you to the point where it's shit?
Not to the point that you're gonna kill me though. Like, don't put your hands on me
Okay.
in a malicious type way. But But
Yeah,
and
it's
I'm
what
also, if I need to be, sit down, because you doing too much. Sit your ass down. I might be like, okay,
but
you know.
see, and
So
they'll let it progress as far as you will let it progress. So
yes,
that's the you can because I know me, I could take it to a level that's like, what the hell? What just happened? It's like it's like a whole flip side. It's like, who the hell are you? I'm like, yeah, okay,
then we're
but
California.
it's like you can do. They'll let you take it as far as you need to go, but it's up to you to figure out. Do I want to be that person? Do I? Because you literally become a different person when you're like that. You become a different person.
Okay, so sitting on the dock of the bay says, LOL, I wave the white flag and surrender that I'm not smart about love. And also, we have to be mindful about how we speak about ourselves, because you're very smart about love. You know this, you know. Can't nobody say you don't know when you're seeing this. So you're very smart about love. You might just be a little bit lag.
The thing is, are you getting it? Are you looking for it? Are you looking for it where it's not? Because you obviously know what you want out of love, but you might be looking for it where it's not at. And I know a lot of people, like myself included, I'm always trying to fix something, make it better. And it's like I had to realize I am not a rehab. I am not a rehab.
Say that. No more.
And
Can't be dating potential. That's the thing.
yeah, and I see potential, and so that's my fault. I see what he could be, and I'm like, oh, I can make him that. It's not my job to make
Yeah,
him that.
your job. People have to be whole in themselves. So that's why one of the things in the readings, when I'm saying, would you still accept this person if nothing else changes from them? They are what they are. Would you still accept this person?
Honestly, I couldn't because knowing that I've changed, I know that it would just go right back to the same, and I might even digress.
Well, that means that you can't be with that person. So that's what, like, going forward, that's what you have to ask yourself.
Hmm.
Will I take this person if nothing else changes as they are, the person that they are today? Will I take this person? You can't keep dating potential. And then you wonder why. The definition
That's
of insanity
that's
is doing the same
that's
thing
how you
over and
wind up
over
on
again and
your
expecting a
deathbed.
different result.
Yeah, that's how you wind up on your deathbed saying, "Shit, I should have done something different." And I don't ever want to be that person. I do not want to be that. It does not. Nope.
Letitia said, say that, Miss Fix It. Guys, please hit the like button for me, please. So,
But yeah,
knowing that,
you can live your whole life like that. They'll literally let you. But then once when you're about to just pass over, you're like, shit, I could have done. Mm-hmm.
and that's the frequency, because you're saying, I'm willing to fix something. So that frequency is, I'm gonna send you a fixer upper.
Yeah.
When
I
you're
don't.
saying,
Yeah.
I'm willing to work with somebody, but I'm not willing to have to fix you all the way. I'm willing to also, because I'm not judging, so I'm willing to deal with somebody that is what somebody might say don't have it all together. Because again, when you love somebody, and that's like your
You
soul.
know.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
what we need to be talking about, because that's what I was going to say. Your soul's your spirit connecting. The
Yep.
thing we were talking about this morning was not looking with your eyes, because your eyes are always going to get you in trouble.
Yeah, and that you could see the best in somebody, and everybody else sees something else. But you swear up and down that and that's what gets you in that trap. And I give everybody the benefit of the doubt. As long as you ain't done something horrific, I don't mind. I don't I don't see the outside of people. I don't judge them by their clothes, because my children's father, he's a homeless heroin addict in Santa Cruz. I can't judge people. I'm half black, half white, along with everything else. I can't be prejudiced to somebody. That's what's always taught me, to accept people for who they are. But it's what you accept for yourself is what makes the difference.
So, do you believe in love at first sight?
Because I done had love at first sight numerous times. But I love him.
So that's the thing, because I say I'll marry somebody that I don't know, that I never met, right? And I don't feel no type of way about that. But people, look at me like, why would you do such a thing? Well, because I married people that I do know and it didn't work out. I've married for this, I've married for that, didn't work out. So that's the only other thing that I haven't done. But I do believe that people's souls connect
Yes,
because
and we come here and we connect with the same soul tribe and the same circles, and that's the thing. I'm 48. I've never been married, but I swear there's true love. And the man that I was dating, when I was 18, I wrote something in my diary. This is how I wanted my true love to be, and he was exactly everything that I had wrote like 20, 30 years ago. So I was already under the impression, oh, and see, the thing was, they sent him to me because they knew that. And so, but this is me unawakened. Now that I'm awakened, do you want to accept the old life or do you want to accept the new life kind of thing? And
so
so,
Dr. The Bay says, I will wave at her through the window and the door, but not open it. LOL, I believe in her. And I know I was wrong. And then Letitia said, we just suckers for love. And Larisha said, work with you, not for you. She'll work
yeah,
with somebody, but not for you.
yeah, and that's a good way to be, because I think everybody should be able to bring their own to the table, and that's letting them be accountable for their actions, not you being accountable for the whole thing.
Yes. And that's totally a fact. And what we now spiritually, you being a spiritual person, and I know for a fact that you're not like, judging anybody on what they are or what they, however they come. But spiritually, do you believe like love at first sight, when your soul connects with this person, that like they see you, you see them, and all of a sudden there's that spark, that thing that happens?
I do, and that's kind of what I look. I mean, and dealing with this man, I was like, you know what? I had my thoughts were racing. I'm trying to come out of the dark night of the soul, and I'm like, maybe I done fucking started dating the devil. And I was like, shit. Well, I had to come to terms with it. I was like, all right, if that's the case, then even the devil needs love too. That's how we're gonna deal with that, okay?
That's the thing, because the thing that we were talking about this morning talks about love. When you are able to love at such a high frequency, where you're even to love people who target you, people who
Yeah,
hurt you, people who like wish no good for you, and you still continue to love them.
and be the bigger,
It
better
don't mean
person.
you gotta engage with them. It just
You
means your frequency in your heart is still of a higher vibration, to where you're saying, I still love that person,
But
but
that doesn't mean that I have to deal with them. I don't have to, and I can love them from afar. And that sucks, because I know, like me, I had visions of us getting married. I would be married to this man, if it, but there's, you know, some behaviors that he brought out within me that I don't like. And I'm like, I don't like myself as that person. And I have to check myself on that. I have to be accountable for that. So if I can't curb those tendencies, that means that I can't be with this man, because I'm unable to fix those or get a handle on them, and he just seems to bring them out. So what do? Do you stay in that toxicness, or do you take accountability and say, step back and say, I love you, but I don't like the person that you make me sometimes.
yes. Okay. And so that brings up another important part, where me and you recently, we've been talking about people making you try to choose. Oh, you have to be a good person. It has to be, you can't straddle the fence. You can't serve two masters. That there's only one master, there's only God.
Right,
God
two
dwells in
horses,
all,
one ass. Yeah.
yes, God dwells in all things. So there is not two masters, there's only one. And when
And
you're
you
living
are
in
that master.
your soul,
And that's the thing. We've been talking about that. There is yin and yang in everything. That is how nature goes. But what people fail to realize is, when black turns to white and white turns to black in that yin yang, there's a gray area. I don't give a shit what anybody has to say, because those two colors just don't go into. There is a mix. And that's how I right, is in between the black and the white in the gray. I don't have any other choice. My mom's white, my dad's black. I'm a Pisces. I'm swimming two different directions. It's like everything in my life has taught me that there is two sides and
And that's
you are
about,
the medium between.
that's also about balance, because
Yes.
it's always a
Because if
trying to
yeah, if
keep.
you're leaning to one side, you're off balance.
That's
You're
right. Choice
and
here
how do you
brings it down.
choose how do you choose one side or the other of yourself? No, you choose
Yes,
yourself and you walk
to
through the
choose
middle.
as a whole, and that's where
Yes.
tarot comes in to bring like people into the journey. Like it's a way to kind of track the journey along the way. Like where are you?
Yeah.
The fool is like the beginning stages when you done everybody thinks you done lost your damn mind. But meanwhile, that's the freest part you can be, because it's like the world is your oyster. Everything is beautiful.
You
It's a
have
new
the
adventure.
best of both worlds. Yes. And I don't know why they're trying to make it such a deal that you have to choose one side or the other. You don't have to choose one side or the other. You can choose yourself and walk your own way.
Yes, and that's one of the things that I keep saying, even as far as God didn't make any mistakes on me. So anything that's in me was designed to be there, right? And yes, we live here on this realm, and yes, we kind of can be swayed by um your pro-
Everything out there that's fucking trying to target us.
your environment. Toya, yes, ma'am. So I think she has a question. So once she puts it in there, I'll let you know what it is. So you are a product of your environment, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to stay in your environment. There are ways for you to come up out of your environment.
They
And
did a survey. They did a survey. They said, so they said there's no crime in rich neighborhoods. You know why? Because they vibrate to a higher vibration.
mhm.
And how you go into a lower, like a impoverished neighborhood, there's a whole bunch of crime because they vibrate to that vibration. And if they were to take somebody impoverished and put him in a higher vibration, he would now vibrate into a higher vibration.
Well, there's a book called The Broken Ladder, and that's what that talks about. It was a book that
And
I
it's
read,
true.
and
And
that
people don't realize that it's mind-boggling to fathom that the neighborhood that you live in could be seriously affecting your whole vibration.
and that's a fact. And the thing is, in The Broken Ladder, they moved somebody just blocks over and learned that it made a distinct change in the
Exactly.
way they went to college. Um, they went to excel in different levels, and they only moved these people a block over. The money ratio changed in that area, but you have to remember, impoverished people are trying to live
Yes, and and no shame to them because
at all.
that's I've been homeless. I've been living on my couch. I've had to give my parents my kids and be like, "Can you watch them?" And I've been through it all, and it's it took a while to realize that this is all stemming because of the environment that I was running through. And I'm like, wow.
And that also lends to, now that I want to say this, even about being on YouTube and me noticing how, and you've noticed this yourself, how my channel keeps being either shadow banned or something happening to where it's just not adding up. The numbers are not adding up to what it should be based off of the level of work that I put in, because I'm a person, I hustle. I'm not asking for nobody to do anything that should not be done. I put
Grown.
in,
Yep.
yes. So then it comes a thing, because it's the same type of environment. Somebody trying to keep me at a lower level, or the system, because if it's the algorithm that's doing it, then what is the algorithm targeting that is now trying to keep certain people? Is the algorithm in racist as well? And
And
it's not
that
supposed to
I've,
be.
I've wondered the same thing because I'm like, why? I'm being a Pisces. I'm like, why are people targeting Pisces? Why is that? Why? And just by them speaking some bullshit, collectively the Pisces is feeling it. And I'm like, wait, how is that right? And I'm
Or
like, that and it's like, like that whole thing of oppression. That's when I noticed a lot of Pisces feeling oppressed. And I was like, what the hell's going on here? How is that possible? And I read books. I don't really take what's on the internet for because it's just so it's been so changed. So I read books like from the early 70s. I've all my astrology books, they're all done early and they're hard copy. They don't change in front of my eyeballs while I'm trying to read it. So and I really respect how much work they had put into to even create these books, and they were dead on.
Hmm.
And so I don't see how it got changed. It's like once the internet came across, everything was like, oh, people could put this and this and this, and this is where Pisces gets called whiny babies. Where the hell do you get we whiny babies? It's because somebody wrote and put it in the internet that was the case, and then you get how many people believe in that and pushing it forward. Then you got energy behind that, so that creates a whole new ball game. So you
So
got a whole
Dr. DeBay is saying that it seems to be happening to a lot of channels. And then somebody else says, Family is Everything says, seems to be experiencing the same thing on her YouTube channel and her IG and her Facebook pages as well. And what I was getting ready to say also is mathematically, if the algorithm is a mathematical system, then it shouldn't be able to be, racist. But
unless here's
unless
one thing,
program,
unless the person that programmed that shit,
yes,
uh,
unless it was programmed to be.
yeah.
So look, she's saying, what did I say to you this morning? She's saying, how do I get out of shadow banning? What did I say to you this morning?
How did you get? And I was
That I can't.
thinking the same thing. Switch. You see all these channels with all these with all these people attached to it, and there's nobody on it. Is that because they got shadow banned somehow and had to
Well,
leave that? No.
that goes into a little bit further of like what I said about the demon or the energy that is sucking the life out of these people. Because one thing that I noticed, and y'all can look it up for yourselves, um, some of these people who are being attacked end up like real frail thin, and you can
Almost
see
like they got
certain,
like cancer or something. I've seen
yeah,
that, and that's
if
not
type
settling.
of
That's not.
medical illness or something. But the one thing that I noticed, because again, I've been sitting here watching this happen, and the one thing that I noticed was they all start having an experience of being gang stalked. That's the one thing they talk about.
Mhm.
They all talk about just being listened to, or it's certain things that keep happening.
Feeling like they're being watched,
Yeah,
and when you're being watched. I'm sorry, everybody's got senses. When you feel something is off, I wouldn't doubt that shit, because
yeah.
that's your intuition telling you something ain't right.
And then
Something
the
is
thing
not
I
right.
notice about all of them is they all end up like, it looks like whatever it is eating them from the inside out. And I'm not trying to diagnose nobody, but I can observe situations, and why are they all the same? It's almost like somebody would try to say, okay, where they're on some type of drug, or they're like, and
What do vampires do? They suck the life out of you.
yes, and try to keep you stuck, or
they
and that's
didn't
one
they
of the
didn't
things
have
where it
vampire
talks about.
stories for no reason. Everything and anything is possible in a world with possibilities.
Yes. And that's like how you and I were talking about how it's been different since me and you were able to link up. It's been different. The energy has been different. We're starting to notice that the frequency is starting to change. But just like this
Yes.
morning when Discord started to try to create discord and havoc to shut this whole thing down, for it not to be enlightened, or for us not to have this conversation, that has been a thing where it says like, okay, you got to step back, you got to get away from people or whatever, because when you're going through the dark night of the
Take
soul, or when
stock
you're
of
feeling something
what's
way,
actually happening.
everybody steps back. But there's a
Mhm.
time when now your soul tribe or your family is coming to love on you. You
I
have
just
to
read
discern it.
it says straight up, there's a time to embrace and then there's a time not to embrace.
Yes,
I
and you
kid you. Yeah. So that's poignant that you even said that, because that's what I just read this morning. And you know, there's times you got to take a step back. And if it wasn't for you, I probably still would be under, because I was under heavy attack. Even though I don't have a channel, I was still under heavy attack. And it
Yes.
was, I can protect myself at home, but when I'm online, it was like I was free game. And I
And
was
then
like,
the
wait a
other
second.
thing that I noticed is, like she said, she has children with autism. Every day, these kids are doing something different.
They're getting better. So that tells me that the connection that I have with you is something more powerful than some whatever was trying to oppress me or get into my weave its way into where I'm at spiritually. So
Yeah,
it was like God sent her and said, here you go. Here's somebody that you can talk to. You could, because I don't have a lot of friends. I try to stay away
neither do
from,
I.
and my mother and then my ex, that was about it, and maybe one or other two
Somebody's
people,
trying
but
to send me energy right now.
I can't be in a whole bunch of people only because my children get left unprotected. And I can't explain to them. I can protect them as much as I can, but ultimately it comes up to them having to learn how to protect themselves. And how do you teach somebody to protect themselves that can't even speak? So that's the dilemma. I was like, okay, I'll just back off from everybody, just to protect them. And that was something consciously that I had to do because I couldn't risk them because that's the last thing I want to do is bring my child to an exorcism,
That's right.
shit. No. And they're very susceptible because they are highly intelligent and their minds are just open as can be, and it's like that's an open invitation for something nefarious.
So Letitia says, "Love it, change the vibration." Um, um, is a time to embrace and a time to erase.
Yeah, that's a good
You
one
said
too.
that.
Yeah.
All right, so us getting into this morning, the vibration, the love thing. What was in the book that we were talking about?
Let me see. It was it says, let's see.
Family is everything. That is that a Pisces thing? Because I don't have a lot of friends either.
I think Pisces recognizes the time to step back and because I every Pisces that I've ever met doesn't have a problem with being on their own. They make their own way to begin with. And so that's where they fucked up. Trying to isolate a Pisces is like giving them more power because they will find any and every way to get out that trap, to fucking
I
find that answer, to fucking do a double. Like, how the hell did that happen? Yeah, motherfucker, you put me by myself. I didn't have anything else but to fucking figure this shit out.
and we gonna
So
figure it out.
yeah, because you ain't gonna do nothing else until you figure out that dilemma, and that's like that's a Pisces. They will figure it out and wind up running circles around you and be like, what happened? Yeah, I'll tell you
Yeah.
what happened.
Okay, so are you gonna tell us about the part from the book this morning, or
Let me find it. It said, okay, so I'll just read this one part. It says, if you could only love deeply enough to sustain love long enough, you can become the source of your own miracles, as powerful as the ancient gods and goddesses. There is no dream you couldn't turn into reality, no law you can't change, no situation you can't reverse. If you could love enough. Loving enough is not easy. Loving enough doesn't mean only those you love who are kind and considerate and generous. Loving enough means also loving those who say all manners of evil against you, who hate you, who actively demonstrate that hatred, who seemingly lack all compassion and sensitivity. Anyone can return the love of those who love them or her. There's little glory or power in that kind of love. We are incarnated into the flesh bodies on earth to learn love's deeper message, more difficult of a lesson of loving the unlovable. In this accomplishment lies all the force and energy of true passion. More than not, it's a painful effort, but the rewards when it's mastered are anything you can beyond your imagination. Never mind unnecessary religious canonization. You too can become a saint if you love enough.
And so somebody was asking what book that is.
It is Linda Goodman's Love Signs, and it's a big this. It tells you every single sign from Aries to Pisces, with every single sign from Aries to Pisces, man and woman, and
Read
overall.
this, baby.
And it's like this book is torn up. I've had this book for like 25 years, but it is, and she has wisdom that rings to me even to this day, even though she did this in 1979. It's like
So,
she's
cool.
talking directly to me. And it's like she talks about twin flames, how your twin flame is also your twin soul. And see, that's what I was telling her this morning. That's where we got things fucked up, because they talk about karmics. There is no such thing as a karmic. There is karmic lessons and karmic situations, karmic testing. And the relationships that are karmic are your best relationships, because that's where you grow. That's where that karmic relationship has taught you to be the person that you are. So when they're
And that's
talking
why,
about, oh, this damn karmic, it's like, do you even know what you're speaking?
and
And
we all
and,
karmic to
and
someone.
yeah, and to top it off, karma, because that's where they're getting karmic from, is an ancient Sanskrit word for action. So how can you be an actionic? You can't. There's no such word as actionic, and there's no such word as karmic. you, you know. So that word always kind of pissed me off when I hear it. It's like they're trying to take their anger out and put it on somebody and
Somebody
then call it a
So
karmic.
we back to accountability.
Yeah, and
So
it's like,
when a person comes in your life and they are, because remember I said yesterday I had a dream, it was very much karmic in nature, meaning I knew that that was getting ready to be something that was getting ready to be that lead into something else.
yeah, and it's that's what Linda Goodman talks about. She's like, karmic. They will. It's called karmic testing, and it will give you the tests that make you into the person that you
So that
are
would
who you're to be.
perspective, that would have to change everybody's perspective when they're saying they're with the karmic. That means they're with the person that's supposed to change them anyway.
Yes, that's what I'm saying,
So
and that's what they're not getting.
that
So
means they're not supposed to be with you anyway. They're supposed to be with
exactly,
the person that's supposed to
it's
teach them the
teaching
lesson.
you. Yes, exactly. And so, but they're looking at it and they're spinning it like you're not supposed to be with the karmic. That's da, 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 the karmic da, 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 da.
And all
No.
it says is look, and you can look it up for yourself. She just gave you the book. You can
Yep.
go
It's
look.
called Lynn Goodman's Love
You can look up the
Signs.
word. You can look at the word for yourself.
There
And
ain't no karmic in the dictionary. There's a karmic in the urban dictionary, but who the hell wrote that?
And
You know,
the same
shit.
people teaching these lessons and talking this mess that we keep trying to having to rearrange and refix and stop these people from saying. That's true. I believe that I am with my twin flame and I have learned the most and have grown the most in my entire life from my relationship. Marriage is expensive. Okay.
Exactly.
Experiences. Okay, so then I always say, excuse me, the person that these people think, some people know that who their twin flame is. That's the thing.
Yes.
But there's also a false twin. That's a false flame, a person who comes along that basically intercepts because these people know
It
these
does
these
happen.
these people know that they are trying to intercept or interfere with a situation.
Hmm.
These are the things, or these are the people who try to hurt you and harm you in a worse way.
And I don't understand that. I literally don't understand. Why would you want to do that to somebody?
Yes, because and this is what I say, it has to be in them. This is not something, a person, because I say it's not the person, it's the spirit in or the entity in, but that entity can't control you to do something to somebody because literally I spoke on it. When I went through the dark night of the soul, they were telling me, they were saying to do certain things.
Hmm.
Meaning whatever that thought was or whatever that thing was. And I'm saying I'm not doing that because I know that I'm not that person. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But if you do that, that was already in you.
Hmm.
And it could be the difference in a person having a weak mind or a strong mind, or whatever it is that a person want to say. I don't know.
Dark night of the soul teaches you to do. Be strong.
The
And
karmics.
no, isn't
The karmics.
that what the dark night of the soul teaches you? To depend on your inner knowing and be strong on your own.
Yes, and know who you are and the voices that you're hearing. Because people
Yes.
will say, "Do you know the difference between God's voice? Like, what is that? Are you sheep? Are you food? Because you
You
can
know,
be food.
yeah. You can be people's food. You can be energetic food.
Yes, you
And
can be food.
yeah, and it's,
And you
I tell
know,
my mom the same thing. There's one lane, there's two lanes. She's behind the lane that's got five different people, and I'm like, why aren't you in the lane with one car? Stop being sheep. Make your own way.
I don't know what this person's talking about. They're saying evil needs to be accepted. I don't know what they talking about, but
Evil is always going to be
evil,
here,
and
but
that's what I'm saying.
it's
But
the thing. That's the thing. That's that person's manifestation. Just like people think that they have to sacrifice people to get power. They no,
okay,
that
they're
was
saying
somebody's
that you
sickness
this is
living
the
out
thing.
their fantasy.
Who makes evil though? Who gets to consider what's evil or what's not?
Exactly.
And because that's
That's
the thing. If God is in everything, there's only one God. God is in everything because otherwise it wouldn't be here. If God wanted everything to be hunky dory, if He created a solar system, I'm sure He could create hunky dory.
but see, then you have to take into factor that we're being conditioned off of what our parents have taught us and society has taught us. So if they decided to screw with shit, then that's the conditioning that we're coming off. If they
You know
made
what? Larisha just said something, and I keep seeing this. And Larisha, I ain't trying to say nothing. Everybody can have their own opinions, but she said, "Hurt people hurt people."
they do hurt people because that hurt.
Possibly, possibly, but that's not everybody, and that keeps being one of the sayings that it keeps being a thing that puts people in a box. Because I done been hurt. I was just hurt.
Mhm.
I didn't go
But
out wanting to hurt
choose not
nobody.
to hurt.
Huh?
Yeah, you
He
choose
was
not
mad
to. It's the
at.
choice. It's a choice.
Yes,
Hurt
that's a
people may
choice.
hurt people, but that hurt person has a choice whether they can
Yes,
want
that is.
they hurt you or not. Yeah.
So if somebody hurts you, because somebody said this to me, they said, "You're never gonna love nobody else because of what that man just did to you." I said, "I rebuke you," and that's a lie. You're not gonna
Yeah.
speak that over top of me. Cause no,
They
I'm gonna
said
go love somebody, and I'm gonna love somebody even more than I love that last person, because that just meant
that's
that
how
was
you
for
conquer
me.
that. That's how you conquer that is you love even more than you loved last time.
Yeah,
That's how you get out of that.
and I can't even say that that situation wasn't for me. It was a lesson, and again, it was a necessary evil because I had to. I feel like I had to go through that situation to become the me that I am today.
And maybe that's what society has switched on us. It was a necessary evil. Instead of
That's what I
labeling
feel.
it as
I
straight
feel like
evil,
it's
it
necessary
was
evil.
because sometimes you have to get hurt to learn what not to do.
And what
Because
is it
just
called?
like my
Run
daughter,
the wrong
she will
pathway.
yeah, she'll continue to hurt herself. And it's like, dude, come on. When are you? It's a necessary evil. Hurt pain is a necessary evil to
And
teach you what
I
not
keep
to
asking,
do.
I remember the feeling because I don't want to deal with the feeling anymore. So I want to remember that so I don't touch that again. Um,
Exactly.
then Families Everything says, it is at those times that we grow the most through. It's confusing sometimes, but from growth comes the experience, whether they are toxic or not. But I did learn a lot from self-love being with him.
And it's
Um,
good that you recognize that.
yeah.
That's a plus right there.
And the Meek says, this world is an equilibrium of good and evil. This is where free will comes from. Yes, so people can choose for now. Yeah, they can do what they want. Um, I also learned who I am and what I wanted to do in this life. And Prestige Girl said, "Preach it, sis." Let them know. Okay, we let them know, because as above, so below. So that's the thing. The same branches, the way it looks on a tree when it grows up, the roots look the same. So it's
Yeah.
almost like when you grasp that the world is a beautiful contradiction, all in its own and all in itself, because everything
Yeah.
belongs to you, and yet nothing belongs to you as well. everything belongs to God.
That's what I
Um,
tell my mom all the time. Mama, you don't own this house. Shit. You just renting
so
it.
the
Even
world
though
is
you have
of
a
a beautiful.
mortgage, you're still renting.
So when we realize that and when we know that, that's when we can kind of accept and say, okay, I'm gonna just be the person who, um, if somebody hurts me, I can
I'm
choose
gonna be
better than that.
I could
If
choose to
somebody
do
hurts
better.
me, I'll choose to do the same exact thing or not.
But
Because
then see,
sometimes,
that's
depending
how
on
you get
the person,
stuck in a cycle. You hurt people. You stuck in a cycle. You
yeah.
stuck in a hurt cycle.
Or I
You
can
gotta be
choose to
that
say,
better
what was the
person.
lesson?
Uh-huh.
That
You
that
haven't
was
learned
the
the lesson if you're still hurting,
lesson.
you know, and you won't ever get over that pain either. If you're still in that state, you're not gonna recover from that pain. And
Yeah.
that's the thing, you have to recover. So that means you have to love yourself enough to change and
Yeah.
not hurt people and not do that, because that was part of my problem. I when I was with this guy, I was so confused. I went to tarot, and it was my doing by allowing the and accepting what was being given to me to have a reflection on what was happening in my relationship, and that was my own fault, and I can
And
accept that.
I love how you said that. You said I was being responsible for what was being given to me because everybody does realize we don't have to accept the shit that these people give.
Yeah,
We don't
we
have to,
don't.
but sometimes we just do it because it feel good, when they loving us right, or
It sounds right, it feels right, and because you're in a state of confusion, you're in a state of trauma already. So you're looking for that band-aid, that fix that'll help you come out of that. And sometimes what you get isn't always what's best for you.
so Larisha says, you do have a choice when you're hurt one, but every person that is hurt has a positive and a negative demeanor when it comes to the next person. And then Letitia Gatewood said, and this is why I'm gonna be a hippie mermaid that rides a unicorn. Yes, you could be whatever you want to be. Definitely. Larisha said you take the situation at hand and you either make it a lesson that is learned that will turn into a blessing, but everybody don't do that. Yes. And that's where you're accepting what she just said. You're accepting to not grow
Because
from
you don't want to judge
it.
somebody on what you've experienced, because that's not giving them a fair chance. That's like cutting them off at the get, you
You know
know.
what? Now suppose a person, because I don't know why this just popped in my mind, so maybe somebody might be thinking it. Suppose a person comes to you and they say, I want to be loved the way that you know how to love, but I don't know how to love like that.
That's funny that you said that, because he said the same thing to me. He was like, I don't know how to be affectionate. He's never had someone who wants to cuddle, or he's never had a mother who gave him affection. And that had to be the most vulnerable state that I've ever seen somebody at. When
That's what
you
I
can
was just
admit,
thinking.
I don't know how to do that.
They were
That is
honest.
so.
I would have to accept it. I would accept it because they were
Yes.
honest.
Yes, and that's what that melts my heart, because I'm like,
Yes, how I don't know where that just came from, but literally that's what somebody is thinking. That what if I say that? Yeah, but that would make me want to love them harder too.
yes, it would, because that
Because at least you're
that
honest. At least you're honest enough
yeah,
to say I wasn't taught that.
mhm,
I want to give
you-
you that, but I don't know how to give you that.
mhm.
But if you can show me, then
And that falls
love it.
into love. I don't know if you've ever heard of love languages. Everybody has their own love language, and they've actually categorized love languages
I
of
love
how
that book.
yeah.
That was a very good book. Somebody says, what if the person operates under the influence of energy that was sent to separate? Okay, but that
If you know that, then you got to combat that, because there's a lot of people out there that, they see you happy and they're like, oh, well,
listen,
and just them.
that
Yeah.
happened. That happened, and the person was saying, you and your little fairy friends are getting on my nerves because remember I told you all of a sudden I didn't realize that they were the somebody was sending spell work to my people, and what was happening was they started having nightmares, and it didn't happen just to one person. It started to happen to anybody that came close to me. They started
Yeah,
giving people nightmares, and the thing that I feel like where it went wrong was the people didn't communicate that. They just
yeah.
started to accept it and just start, maybe they didn't want me to know what was in their dreams, but they didn't tell me, they didn't communicate clearly as to what was
What
happening in their dreams, other than the fact that
and
one of the things was the person was afraid that I was going to leave them. And if you have abandonment issues already and that
that
person's
just
dealing with
brings
that,
up that abandonment issues.
like, this is something this person said, this is something that they were already going through. How am I supposed to fix it if I don't know what you're thinking? So communication
Exactly.
to me is always key.
Yes. It is, because that will solve half of relationship problems, communication. Now whether they want to send in somebody to tempt your partner, which they do when you
And
get
then
in that state.
they want. They that definitely do that.
Yeah, if there ain't that communication, guess what? That shit ain't gonna work too well, because that literally has been an issue, and it's like, and I didn't know if I was manifesting that because that was an issue of mine because my children's father had cheated on me. So I was like, am I manifesting this to happen? And then they just like, here you go. Let's try this. Let's tempt it. And it's went all downhill from there. I was like,
And we were that way too because this is the thing. Like when I'm with somebody, I'm not going to look at somebody else. I don't want to look at somebody else because my person is everything to me. So
that's how I am. I'm enamored with my person for
yeah,
the long, you
so
know.
it might not be the way they are with you or the way they are with me, but at the end of the day, to me, I don't see anything. And I had a person like I told you, and I told this on the channel. Um, Somebody from when I was freaking 15 years old, and this person was older than me, but they ended up calling me and saying they sent me an email. I don't know how you still got my email from that time, but okay, he did. And the person said, and he probably would come on the show too. That's another thing. But the person said, um, you made me feel like I was the only person in the world. Like I never feared you cheating on me ever.
And that's how I would let all my boyfriends to feel, because I'm a very loyal person,
That's the
and
way you want
I
everybody
when I'm in
to
love, I'm in love. I
feel.
am
Me too.
completely
Stupid
napped. My favorite spot would be in his armpit, sleeping, because I love the way that he smells. And he's like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "I love you."
That's Pisces thing.
But and it's like having that, and people see that and they're like, "Oh, she's so happy," and then it's like they want to just fuck that up, and I don't understand that, because it's like,
And they
why
let
would
them fuck it up though. They let them fuck it up.
I have to take accountability for that because I let somebody fuck it up.
But not you, because if they are the ones that are tempted, that's them letting somebody
Yeah,
fuck it.
but I'm sure my brain being, like it is, didn't help that along, help the situation come into fruition
Well, we
to be
also have to be accountable for the things that we are accountable for. We can't take on, and Pisces
oh,
has a thing for doing that too. We'll take on other people's shit and say, "Oh, well, we're sorry," because I noticed that a lot of us do that. We'll say we're
yeah.
sorry because even in the chat, I'm saying no more apologies. I'm no longer apologizing for shit that I didn't do or shit that I can't
Send
control.
me the
Start
Lotto
doing
song.
that
I'm
anymore.
sorry, I'm not sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. It is what it is. Take it hot come. All right. That's it. That's all. I'm not going to be held accountable for your shit. I'm not doing it.
Yeah. And that's a real thing too. You can be held accountable for somebody else's shit if you decide that you're going to take that on. It's
Yes.
like, so yeah, it's like a minefield, and it's hard when you don't have anybody to talk to about it, because you don't want to sound like you're crazy. You don't want to be locked up,
Yes.
and going to tarot gives you that kind of, it'll be okay. Somebody understands me. And if they're leading you in the wrong direction, they need to be held accountable for that, because that is not okay.
That's a fact. But see, this is the thing. Everybody picks up the tarot cards and let me run to YouTube and post some videos because it's a quick check.
Yeah, and make some money real quick. And that's why they're getting attacked the way that they're being attacked, because it's not only a demon out there. There's some angels out there that are like, no, 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 no. This is a divination. It's not a money platform. It's not meant to fucking, get subscribers up so you can be like the no. It's
And just say
to
you want to
help.
and not be
Yeah,
accountable for the things that you're
because
saying.
people are looking for answers and they deserve to get those answers. They don't deserve to be running around and be trapped in some shit.
And tarot is for entertainment purposes only. It's basically for you to gain some type of like learn the journey.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also going to say that there are some talented tarot readers. I'm going to say that.
Yeah, there are.
They are channeling. They are doing that. But there are also some
That don't know what they channeling. Yeah, that's
exactly.
the thing too.
That's why they're only showing their hands. And what did I say? Throwing rocks and hiding their hands.
Yep.
They showing you their hands. That's it. So that makes you think that their hands are clean. Their hands not clean, because literally they're leading people down the wrong way. And these people have huge platforms. I'm watching, and I'm saying, first of all, God, I don't even want to watch them. Why am I being led to watch them? Because then it's something that I gotta now readjust and say, okay, I don't know who's going to see it or if they're going to see it, because my channel's small, but the people who are supposed to see it will come and see it. But why do I gotta keep adjusting? Because I'm not, what I just say, I'm not the fixer upper either.
God knows that you would find an offense in what they're doing, and He's like, let me put some of my best motherfucking people on this shit because I know they ain't gonna fucking just
Yeah.
leave that shit to the,
And then my
yeah, that's
God, do you like why I gotta watch this? Because I don't need like I don't like
because it
little reptile
irritates you
fingers.
and you don't like seeing people get led astray, because that is something Pisces core belief. They don't like to see people getting fucked up. They
Yeah.
don't like to see people hurt.
And I know it happened to me because literally when I was going through the dark night of soul and I was sent back to watch this, and I'm watching these females. Basically, you are just leading people down the wrong way, and you have no accountability for it. You
And
get your
it may even be that they don't even realize what they're doing. So that could be a thing too. But that, because some of these, I'm like, did you watch this reading before you
I
put it out? If you
some of them
did,
know what they're
shit, you
doing.
wouldn't put it out.
Some
You
of them,
know,
I think some
and
of
it's
them
like,
are doing because it's like a little giggle thing, and it's funny to have
uh,
fun and everything else. But literally, like I told you, one, I feel like you trying it,
mhm.
and you
And
big,
that,
and you doing stuff like you're literally trying to do stuff to now adjust your mess, but you're digging the hole deeper
yeah,
instead of just
yeah.
apologizing. Like just
Yeah.
apologize to the people. I did this. I did not know, and that's all you have to
You see
do.
that one chick, Val Terry, that's exactly what she did. And she didn't need to take accountability for all of this because it's not her
It's
accountability.
not her.
She took
Yeah, and I saw.
accountability for what she did on her platform. And that was amazing, because that was like, you know what? At least she has the guts to step up and say, you know what? I'm sorry if I misled you. I'm
Or I
sorry if
judged you wrong, or this, that, and the third, because that's mostly what I
you,
that she
and she then was able to look at everybody as an individual instead of a collective of people.
um family is everything real said, do you warn others when you come across low vibrational tarot readers, or just be cautious yourself moving forward? That's why I'm saying right here, right now, because I'm warning y'all. Whether or
I
not y'all
turn,
it
as
or
soon
not,
as
this is
they
a
irk
warning.
me, turn that shit off. I'm like, nope, I
Yeah.
don't think so today.
I tell people step away, and if you're being led to say something in
To that
there,
drum.
I was told to observe and not engage, but literally just restructure. Restructure.
If you can handle watching it without getting a rise, you're getting somewhere. But when you get that rise and you know that because that's the thing, when you spit something out your mouth at it, you're giving it energy.
That
You're giving
exactly,
it. So
and
if
that's the
if
thing.
you
So
know
all I
that,
was told was adjust it. You now go and you adjust that.
yeah,
And the people that are supposed to see it will see it. The people that are not meant to see it, I guess that's something that they have to, go along on their walk. But
they come to that point where they're like, you know what, I don't want this drama, because it's been proven that when you watch social media, you go to bed at night, all that replays in your head.
and what about having some discernment. Like people have to have some discernment because if you
That's,
continue to sit and listen to some of this mess, and I know
yeah,
it's a mess, and you think that, oh, I resonate so much with this and this and the third, then that means you living in a mess too. So you're not even going to hear when I tell you that it
yep,
wasn't right. So it's not
yep.
meant for you to learn at that time. It's not meant because
And
you're
some
not going
people,
to hear it.
and I have to respect that because some people are still at that stage.
Yeah,
Some
and they're not
people,
going to hear it.
and
Me,
it's
we
it.
talked about it before. Like when they are living in the mess, they're not going to hear that.
They ain't gonna see the mess either. They ain't gonna see the mess.
What they're going to do is later on, when it becomes very important for them, or when they spit that out of their mouth, and then somebody now corrects them in a form or fashion that you can't be no other way but held accountable for it. Then all of a sudden it'll trick their mind into saying, okay, well, where did I
Yeah,
get that? But I can almost guarantee you the tarot reader that's doing that,
ain't
they
gonna
just
take
go
it.
live their life, and that's why they're not showing you their face because I don't have to be accountable for that. I can act like I didn't do that.
Yep,
I can
yep.
literally go and show up in the church or wherever it is that I feel like my because a lot
Nobody
of
know that I did that. Yep.
I ain't back to God. Well, where was you at from the beginning? Because I've been sitting here with God the whole entire time. So where was you
Shit, playing with her hands.
at? And nobody's going to say that, oh, God's people are not in everything because are you God? And if I was able to now see that there's a lot of people coming from the church or coming from wherever, and now they're turning to tarot, and now
They
they're
condemned that.
listening to
They
this.
condemned that for a very long time. That was condemned in the church. But you see how the tables have turned, and now people from church are turning to
Our
tarot.
spirit. Yes.
And after they done condemned it, and that's their own doing because that turned back on themselves.
Yes, it
You
was a
can't
backfire.
condemn something that you don't know anything about just
Yes.
on the word of somebody else.
Yes. And now it's a backfire because now this pastor was talking about their spiritual, and we're bringing the spirituality of it, and we're lighting candles again, not speaking on nobody because again, God said, don't talk about his anointed. We don't know which of them are anointed or not. At the end of the day, not my charge. The thing
Yeah,
is, you are going to be accountable for what you're talking about and what you're teaching. And if
that's
it
the
can
thing.
be proven,
They ain't waiting for judgment day. They ain't waiting for the deathbed. You're
oh no,
being held accountable now. It's now. And that's
yeah,
the thing. The energy is pushing it now. It's like you are going to be held for what you've done or
so
what you decided to speak over people. Yeah,
yeah,
because
and nothing's
people
gonna
on these
happen. And the only time
platforms,
I'm going somewhere is to the store, so I'm not gonna get this. And you know, you keeping yourself away, so you definitely good doing a good job of hiding even from the world because you're not out doing nothing. But I can almost guarantee you, oh, you're gonna go on vacation or you're gonna do something where your ass is gonna get handed to you. I promise.
shit, you don't even have to go on vacation. He can get his ass handed to him, walk into the bathroom.
First one,
Okay.
but the you know how they hiding or whatever they doing. Oh, I'm not gonna. Oh, you're gonna be held accountable for that. I promise you.
Everybody, and see, that's the thing because you can't run from your own spirit. You cannot run from your own spirit.
Maybe they'll get condemned or convicted in their way, but again, there's no accountability because they're not going to come and apologize for that, or they're not going to come to the people and say, okay, I did that. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But if you get convicted or some type of conviction going on over you and you're not supposed to do that, are you just going to put the cards down and now back away and say, okay, well, God told me not to do that. Meanwhile, you just left these people out here fucked up.
Yeah, that's the thing. So what happens to all those people? Now
Yeah.
they're searching for something else. They're because what they thought they had has been taken, and so now they're left even in more of a lurch.
And
So
it has to still be held accountable for that because, like I said, I have a very healthy fear of God. And if I lead somebody down the wrong way,
I'm
when it's
gonna
my
come
time
back and
to get
correct that.
there, God gonna be saying, "Why did you do that? You know that that person got led astray because of you."
Yeah, and that's not a good feeling at all.
Mm-mm.
So, and I believe in higher selves. So everybody's got their higher self watching them. You can't run from that mug. I remember when I was going through the night of the soul, I was like, "Can your higher self lie to you?" And I don't think so. And I'm like, but wait, if I was my higher self, I'd lie to me not to keep me from doing something. I'm like, wait a second. So And that's just me. And I'm like, I'll check. I'm like, wait a second, what do you got me doing over here? I was like, wait, because it's you as a more evolved person that's guiding your avatar down here. And sometimes I'm like, what are you doing? Wait a second, you got to even stop and check that, because
Yeah,
it's like,
better you do better.
yeah.
So remember
So
we talked about what was the thing? Ignorance is bliss.
sometimes, there I'm like, damn, I wish sometimes I'm like, I wish I wouldn't have known that, because that was
So just imagine you being drugged through those invisible strings
huh?
because you got soul ties and attachments, and
Yep.
you're drugged to the
Yep.
reality. And now you're
Yeah, and that's
here.
that's a cold hard floor,
That
to hit. Yeah,
because
that's a
I was
cold
being
hard
drugged
floor.
by soul ties or attachments, invisible strings, quantum entanglement, and then
Yeah.
now I'm awake and in a different type of form and fashion, and then nobody shows up to help me.
Yep.
Figure it out yourself.
Yep.
And
And
my only guides are weird ass tarot readers, weird stories, and just mad because I'm awake now and trying to
uh,
pass me. And now the other guides are just lying. And you
yeah,
see these people?
that's where
Because
I
I
had.
know you didn't just get me woke up to this mess.
And that's a weird place when you find yourself woken up to, like, what the hell is going on around me?
Traumatic, but yet beautiful. Because although I was being led by God and just, but then I'm being picked with and meddled with, and people trying to do this, that, or the third because they think
Gaslight
they're,
you, and
oh,
yeah.
I'm powerful and my name is Sophia and I'm this. Okay, Sophia, Miss
Okay,
Sophia,
may be powerful in your world, but guess what? I'm the power in my world.
hello. And then that's where tarot came in and it started to teach me, like, okay, because now I can see tarot on a whole different level because now my eyes were open to something different. And now that's where the journey now turns into you turning into the magician and you really becoming like the high priestess. Because the high priestess talks about sitting in between that realm, the light and the dark, and understanding who you are, like paying attention to your subconscious
understanding
mind.
understanding your shadow and understanding your light is
Yeah,
what it takes to walk in the gray, because
and
you could go dark, you can go light, but
yes.
you choose to be neutral.
And one of the things I kept saying is I don't like the other part when the people keep saying that you gotta kill your ego. And I kept saying my ego is alive and well and it's gonna stay in my
Yeah.
body because God didn't make no mistakes. And so when people
Yeah,
are all following this thing, you have to kill your ego, you kill
you need
yours. My
your ego
mind
to survive. You're,
is attached, but it's gonna be alive and well and kicking
uh-huh.
on the day of judgment day. So talk to your mom about it or whoever else you don't like about it. But mine, when I get to standing in front of God, is going to be alive and well and kicking in my body.
Yep,
I'm not
because
listening because you people keep talking about, oh, it's a collective. Y'all follow that. That's why y'all follow that, and I go this way.
yeah, I don't.
Because
I really
I go this way
just
too.
like, I don't need to be a part of a group. I never did. I don't need to be a part of a collective either. I can be my own collective. And that's through my studies,
Burning Corey.
that's what I've seen. You have a collective of energies within you. That's your collective. It's not you being a part of a group. It's you being your own group of
Yes, and you understand
energies.
yourself.
Yes.
And so
So,
people can say tarot's this, tarot's that, but if you really tap into what it means, it's just helping you along your journey. It starts off one way and it teaches you, takes you through your journey. It also
and
teaches
it gives
you,
you all aspects of yourself that you can explore.
and
That's
even
the
the
thing.
devil card, that's one of the things I keep saying. That devil card says you're only limited by what you believe in.
Exactly. Yep. And
You're
if
only
you
limited by what you believe in.
so when you hearing people say, "Oh, you didn't follow the rules," what rules? What rules are you talking about?
There's none.
Yeah,
There's laws that say to
you
follow.
may be set down by some rules that you choose to believe that other people have placed upon you. That's on you, but you ain't placing nothing on me.
And when you become like the magician of yourself, of your world, you become the person who is now the architect. You're building. That's what the magician is. So you and I keep telling y'all about the words manipulate. So when somebody's trying to manipulate or trying to, do something wrong to you, that's when it's a bad word. But the word manipulation is you manipulating the energy, the world around
To
you
work for
create
you.
to
And
create.
you are allowed to do that. You are allowed, that's what
Yes,
you're
you
put
are.
here to do. You're put here to see how powerful and how strong your spirit is. And that comes with manipulating your environment, not manipulating the people,
Exactly.
manipulating your environment to be what you want it to
Thank you,
be.
Corey. And that's a fact. So that's when it comes to free will and understanding who you are as a person and not trying to manipulate somebody, but
Yeah, you're
manipulate
manipulating your
yourself.
environment to create your best life. There is nothing wrong with that. There
So
is nothing wrong with that.
one of the things you and I was also speaking about was alchemy. And so that's part of like you being a magician. And one of the things I was learning, and it was just a thing coming up as far as alchemy, everybody thinks that it's about turning, metals into gold and this and the third and all this other stuff. Really, if
It's
you
a
get into alchemy, it's basically talking about how to alchemize yourself.
because you become the gold.
Yes. So we keep looking at it on the like mundane level, but there's so much more behind these concepts than what people are teaching or touching on.
I don't know if it's because they don't want to let it all out, or they're holding it back, or they're trying to manipulate somebody else's experience.
And somebody else's reality.
Yeah.
It's like painting you a picture. Don't let nobody paint you a picture because they're painting you a picture of what your reality should be. When why would you do that? Your
Yeah.
reality. It's your
Yes. It's your paintbrush and it's your paint. Don't let nobody paint with your shit.
it's your crayons, your pencils, whatever it is that you choosing to use. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody create your reality for you, and that's what they keep trying to do. They want to
Yeah.
keep pigeonholed to
And
the,
that's a place of keeping somebody asleep. That's a place of keeping somebody subservient to them. And that's a place where they can use your energy for whatever they want to, if the long as you're complacent in that place.
and that's the thing where, and now it's making me think of, because there was a big thing in the tarot community of somebody swapping destinies with you, somebody swapping your reality with theirs. That's how they're doing it. So
I never believed in that
nobody can do that unless
unless you're
you let
complacent.
them paint you a
Yep.
picture. You let
Yeah.
them, yes, you now become complacent, like she said.
You're stuck in the past, reliving all this crap that they keep bringing up over and over again. Your mind is in the past, it ain't in the present. So while your mind is in the past reliving all this shit that they're telling you, somebody else is living your life.
And meanwhile, you're letting them now again create your trauma, your havoc, your chaos, your cage. Why would you let them do that?
Oh, straight up.
So you have to be mindful even when you listen to the tarot readers say, "Oh, now you're and you're trapped in a different dimension." Trapped.
If you believe that somebody could put you there.
That's the case. But I'm not trapped nowhere. You're not trapped anywhere unless you trap yourself. Be
Yep.
mindful what these people be saying.
Don't let them double talk your ass. That's exactly what they're doing.
Yes. Because they're trying to get you trapped. They want you to be stuck. They're trying to hold you back. Why? So then I can just manifest in all your energy and I can keep, well, like she said.
If you stuck. And that's where a lot of people are getting
But then
stuck.
come along and now she comes along and now we're saying free yourself, free your mind, unlock those boundaries in them walls. And they saying, oh, hold up, y'all.
Like, wait, you're ruining our whole game. You're ruining our whole feeding session here. It's like,
Yeah,
nah,
for you
I
said
am.
the weak minded. It's not for the weak minded. But once you enter into the realm, Now you're in the realm. This is the realm that y'all are in.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not trapped in the realm unless you decide that there's limitations.
And when you know that you've unlocked those limitations, it's like a whole new like experience comes in, and you could see it because you'll start seeing things that you didn't see before. It's like, where did that come from? You're unlocking levels. It is levels. You're unlocking them. And when you start to unlock them, you notice things start to change. Little things. It starts with the little things. And then like the whole feed on your phone will change. You'll start seeing, where did these tarot readers come from? Well, how's this on my feed? I don't subscribe to this. It's because you're unlocking new levels. That's the thing. They don't want you to do that because then you open up a whole new ball game and they can't keep you trapped in it.
Period. And then you start to grow and your mind starts to expand, and then you start to do things that are unbelievable even to yourself.
Yes.
And why would I want you having limitless power? Why would I want you to do that?
Yeah. That's where they put all these constructs in to keep us from realizing our talent, to keep us from realizing our true power.
To keep you from realizing that God does really exist and you can speak to him right out of your mouth and watch stuff manifest right into your face that belongs to you. You don't have to manifest in nobody else's energy. Manifest in your own energy.
Because you got the power to do that.
It
You
works.
know? It's the greedy people that don't, that didn't tap their shit out because they done something foul that winds up keeping tabs and monitoring and shit like that. That's
Yeah.
that's not okay.
Energy harvesting off of you.
Yes. Yeah, basically.
Trying to keep everybody again pigeonholed in a little cage because there's walls here. Because I've never heard, the whole time I've been a spiritual person, I've never heard somebody say there's rules. It was, oh, well, now everybody's over here, everybody's spiritual, now there's rules. No,
Who wrote rules? Where did you get
put
that?
it
Is that
again. No, you don't belong here. If that's the case, then you don't belong here, because why would it now be rules? Because all of y'all showing up.
uh-huh.
No, ma'am, no, sir. It wasn't rules before.
What
There,
happened was you came in and fucked up their game, and now they're like, "Wait, you're not allowed to do that."
yes, you
You
can't.
said,
How you
yeah,
going to speak to the universe? You got to have permission first from this person.
okay.
Please.
Yeah. That's
You
crazy.
got to talk to me
I find that
first
funny.
before you go to. No, no, no,
Oh,
ma'am, no, sir.
that's
I'm
somebody trying to
gonna
put
move out.
some
I'm
roots on
gonna
your ass.
because
Yeah.
get out the way. You clearly got me messed up.
Huh.
So,
Shit.
and when you open up access, you got to remember that's a portal.
You have to protect yourself. You have to protect yourself in some form or fashion, because not only are you opening yourself to learning something new, you're opening yourself to everything that is out there. And it would be foolish for you to think that you are the only ones here.
Hello, because we're not. And
Yeah.
that's why I said
I
everybody in this chat is not our friend.
yeah.
Just because they hear don't mean, because literally I don't watch so many people come to this chat today. I got 12 likes on it.
I gotta press the like button. I don't even know where to talk.
I mean, I'm saying, but I don't watch so many people come in and out of this chat. It don't make no sense. So
Huh.
people are coming for the information, coming for the knowledge, coming to steal. But
But see, and that's okay because we love them all, and hopefully it helped them.
yes, hopefully it does. But also some of them didn't have good intentions, because you seen what happened with my throat, didn't you?
Yeah.
I could smell the person when they were in here.
Uh,
Somebody sent me energy that was not, I'm your friend. Somebody sent me energy that said, I need you to shut it up. Shut
Damn. That's not okay.
I can smell the person.
No. It
So
smells like Jerry.
why are you trying to hinder? Why are you trying to hinder? Stop paying these preachers. Test the lion and study yourself. Yeah, study for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But somebody don't want a free message to get out.
Oh, how do you trap a free message? How do you hate on a free message?
I don't know.
how
When
and
it
that's
talks
that I find that pitiful. I really do. It's like, how upset are you with yourself that you want to hate on a free message trying to help people?
Letitia said, I seriously thank you ladies for this conversation this morning, and I like seriously thank you. And I like that. Yes. So that's what I don't know how a person can hate on a free message, but when it's telling people that pay attention to the snakes in the grass, and I don't even like using that because again, they want you not to like snakes, but snakes are healing. Venom is healing.
So
That's why it's the sign.
snakes in the olden days, in like the what is it, Mayan, they meant time travel. They would the snakes symbolized time travel. And so I don't know why people are like, and the caduceus, that's Ophiuchus, the serpent bearer, the serpent wrangler. He represents all of the zodiac, and he's holding it in his hands. And the zodiac is the travel through the time.
But again, you notice that anything that they want you to steer away from, let's make it call it bad.
Yeah, let's call it bad. Let's call it evil. Don't go. And that works for a lot of people, but I'm
Yeah.
not a lot of people. I'll be like, what is it? So
Yes. Well, guys, I think we should wrap this up. We've been talking for a long, long time, like 2 hours. I think this one says 2 hours and 19 minutes.
well,
219.
219. Thank you.
Now that is crazy. And y'all realize me and her have the same birthday. Both of us are 219s.
Well, I hope that I can help.
Thank you.
I hope I helped with anyone who, at least impart some wisdom on that. Um, and I wish you all the best journey that you could possibly have. And remember that it's your journey and it's the way you dictate it. Don't let anybody else dictate your journey.
Period. And I would love to have you on more. And you and I talk all the time. So literally we like holding up the line together. So I would love to have you on more. I would love to have some of you other guys on. Letitia said, don't go, don't go. and whatever you want to come on, you are perfectly welcome. And again, I love having
And I'm thankful that I have you in my life.
I'm thankful for you too. And that listen, well, hold on. Before we go, let's talk about this. I definitely gotta say this. Um, so one of the things, like what I said about separation, getting away from people so you can understand who you are, what you are, and then but when is the time to come back? Like, and then how you know? Like,
I think it's when you've like been on your own for so long, it's almost like you don't want to come back. Sometimes you don't want to come back because you're like, oh man, I got to do it, because you're bombarded by a whole. You just isolated yourself, and now you didn't thrown yourself back in the pit. I think it's harder to come back, but I mean, you have to come back because it's the world. This is what you're supposed to experience. And I think it's different for everybody. You'll know when the right time to come back is. You'll see your entrance and be like, that's my shit. That's my shit. Let me go.
let me take my opportunity to come on in.
Yeah. So
And so that's why I was thankful for you because that was because when we go through the dark night of the soul, we don't trust a lot of people.
yeah.
Everybody's out to get you, but yet nobody's out to get you, but everybody's out to get you.
Yeah.
I mean, the experience. Like, you know what I'm saying? Can I eat with you because I can't trust you around my food because
Aw.
it's a
Girl, there was a time I didn't even trust my own mama. I was like, what did you put in this?
that's y'all hear what she said? Literally, that's a real thing. Because once it then happened, it's almost like and that's the biggest trick, because that's what I wanted to say. That's the biggest trick of the enemy is to keep you isolated when your soul family and your soul tribe is
Because
really coming to love on you, because literally we are here now to love on each other. And when you get
yes.
that love, that unconditional love. Like, this happened to me and everybody else is calling me crazy, but now I can talk to this person and we have very crazy similar stories. Stories and experiences. It's almost like, what if I
But
didn't trust
yeah,
the
ultimately, the world is a beautiful place. It is what you make it, and
yeah,
you are here to experience it, not beyond your by yourself. You're here to experience everything that it has to offer. So
yeah,
I believe you'll know when the right time to integrate back in. Because it'll be different for everybody. But be proud of yourself that you took that time to isolate yourself and get a different perspective on it, because not a lot of people can do that,
period.
especially in today's day and age. That's
And
so.
this is one thing, and this would be my advice, and you could tell me what your advice would be to anybody that has experienced this. So I found solace in, when people try to reach out to me, I only FaceTime people. Like, I don't want to talk to you over the phone. If you're trying to connect with me, I gotta FaceTime you because I gotta be able to look at you.
Mm-hmm.
And that was how I experienced like all of the, interactions with the people, because I couldn't trust people trying to catfish you, people trying to, it's just a weird shit. So if a person can't FaceTime with me, I'm not talking to you.
Yep. And that's a good way to be, because that I learned that from you. I was like, that's a good idea, because you never know what you getting on the other end. Where what you get. You got a call from 11111 the other day. What the
Yes,
hell
yes,
is that?
yesterday.
Which is like, if that ain't some shit, right there. It's like you can't trust something that you cannot virtually see with your own. You know what I mean? And evaluate.
Where it says using technology and gadgets with wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Got to remember that this technology and gadgets are what people are using to target us, or what people.
Yes, and and it's cheap and affordable. You can get something on Amazon that'll just jack your phone up, and it's like people don't have discernment or morals when they're doing that.
Yeah,
It's like, so just take that extra precaution to protect yourself, because how easily can they tap into all your bank accounts right from your phone? Most people are doing mobile banking. As it's that's the day and age that we're living in, and we got to adapt to that. It's a real thing.
and it's sad, but it's true.
It is.
So this is where
I probably go back to the 80s anytime. Shit.
1986. So listen,
Shit.
this is what y'all have to realize. Like, so what would you give them any more advice? Like a different set of advice as far as like what to do to connect with people?
I mean, there's always we're the technology is only gonna get, they're going to come out with more technology, better technology. Da, 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 da. It's a progress, and we're going to have to learn how to progress with the times to protect ourselves. And I would say research. If you're iffy on something, research it and find out all the possibilities to protect yourself before you walk into that room, before you take that leap, because that knowledge is the one thing that they cannot take away from you, and it's free.
It's
And the more knowledge, what is it, GI Joe, the more you know.
the more you grow.
Yep.
And so, Catherine says, I prefer to least minimally hearing their voice, hearing the inflections that are in their voices can still let you feel the vibrations. Right after embrace the conversation, Larisha said, that's when you start choking. Oh, right after the embrace conversation, that's when you started choking. Okay, that's what she said. Um, well, to me, I don't want to talk to you over the phone, because
Yeah.
what happened to me, and I told y'all this story. When I was being gang stalked, they kept sending people to my social media page, liking my page, doing this, creating all types of Kevin Gates pages and all types of other weird shit. Like, and I showed it to Jessica because I'm like, this is not some made up stuff. But to me, it was like, how would a person know that I like Kevin Gates? Although I said it here. So it had to be somebody that was on my channel that was kind of like, following my story or whatever. But the amount of pages that these people were creating, it was outstanding. Because is this like a little African village? And I only say African village because literally I FaceTime a person. I FaceTime, and this person was a Loa, or they claim they were a Loa. And when I FaceTime this person looked at me in my face and backed up, if they just saw, like God said, don't touch her, like, or they just realized they fucked up, like I fucked.
Yeah.
And so when that person stepped back from me, as if like, oh, I fucked up. People need to see your face. I need to see your face, because I need to see you at face value. I need to see your actions, because like I said, I'm a person, I watch body language.
Yep, so do I.
So when you start doing shit that basically says
your actions ain't matching up
I'm
to
paying attention. Yes, you're not matching what you're saying.
That's a talent Pisces have. They see things that other people don't see. And then why? How did you know that? Because I've seen it.
Yes, I watched you.
And
so it's like, that's why I also try to line my cameras up, because again, I'm talking to this camera because I'm looking at my YouTube things over here, but my YouTube is actually here. You see what I'm saying? So that's the other thing that I gotta start lining up, and making sure that everything is appropriate, because that was a good catch for her. She said right after the embrace conversation is when I started choking, because so then somebody basically not liking that conversation about people coming together, because if I keep you isolated, I could target you. I could target you better when
you're easier prey when you're by yourself.
Yes. And these people are preying on us. That's what they're trying to do. So
they need to get prayed up is what they need to do. Instead of praying, they need to get prayed up.
That's the other thing. Oh, so that led me to another thing. Look, here we go. See, this is how we don't get off, because this is what needs to happen. Okay. So staying prayed up, and then people praying on you. So their thing was, when people are starting to question God, because God, why would you allow these people to keep attacking me? These people didn't go to God to get authority to attack you. That's why they're being eaten up. That's why that spirit also, when they start attacking, it starts to eat them up. And listen, these people, she said, tell them to go to God about it. Yes, tell them to go to God. So your prayer is important, because I felt it's a thing called a python spirit. With a python, how a python kills you is by
suffocation. Yeah.
Yes. And if they can take your prayers, then they got you. And they can take the thing,
they put you in fear, they got. That's the thing. Once you hit fear, there's no such thing as fear. That is your own. That's what they're trying to get you to be in fear, because that's when you are easily manipulated and taken advantage of. When you fear something, don't fear shit. There ain't no fear. Not when you run your own shit. You don't fear nothing.
God, you don't have to fear, like little that, and that's the fact. You speak facts. When they can get you in fear of, I'm targeting you for this, I'm targeting you for that,
this is gonna happen to you, or and it's like, no, I don't think so.
Your money, I'm doing this, I'm doing it always reminds me of the story of Job. When the devil went to God and asked God, could he attack Job? Could he? Because Job is only praising you because you're giving him stuff. And God said, we'll see. Okay, well, go ahead. And Job praised them anyway, even through all the mess, through all the problems, through all the disease, through all the this, all of that. He still prayed him.
That's faith. Yep.
Yes, he still praised God anyway. And meanwhile, some of y'all will say, well, I'm doing the work. I opened up a book and I did this. And I only refer to the Bible because that's what I grew up knowing. And some of those stories ring true to me. And so it's not even that I'm trying to push the Bible on nobody. It's just that some of those stories ring true to me. And Job is the way I felt like when I was going through the dark night of the soul. I'm being attacked left and right. And I'm saying, God, like, I'm a good person. So why did that happen? Continue to keep going through it, because there's somebody else that is going through it, that they need this, they need to understand. And then as people saying, oh, well, I read a book, so I should be able to receive this or I receive that. Well, what if he do you like Job? Oh, y'all were quick. Now all of a sudden you don't believe in God no more because literally I just took all your stuff. I done gave you a disease. I killed you this. I did that. I did this. And now all of a sudden y'all don't love God no more.
What was it that I was talking about? If they can take away the people's faith, there would be no hope.
At all. And that's the reason why then she was telling me that that's the reason why you're being attacked, because you're giving people hope. Because all of a sudden people are just coming out of the woodwork. Because I'm saying, where was y'all at when they told me to ask for my soul tribe? Nobody showed up. But
Yeah.
then all of a sudden now in the past month or two, it's been like people coming out of the woodwork. And I'm saying, well, where y'all been at? Everybody saying we were watching. We was being
Yeah.
attacked too. We had to make sure you was gonna survive. I'm still surviving. They're still touching my stuff. They're still doing things. And that's why even when God's saying, are you okay? Because although they started tampering with my money and this, that, and third, when I needed stuff, people would just send me donations. Every time I need something, people sends me y'all, I love y'all. Y'all send me donations. Y'all keep everything still afloat. Like literally it keeps being a thing.
And that's walking in faith. Faith that you know you will be taken care of.
Because God keeps saying, I still need you to sit here and I still do, because I can start saying, okay, well, this is not working. I'm not gaining an income through this. My YouTube revenue is not, it's not enough. But it's something, it's more than what it is. I can start saying I'm gonna just go find me a job and then I can not be sitting here, period. You see what I'm saying? I could go do the thing that, so I could do that, but is that the seat that God told me to sit at?
Yeah.
So for a fact, he said sit here because there's people that are now saying, if it wasn't for you, like I watched you go through it, but I also now feel this connection that me and her been
That's
developing.
gotta feel awesome. That's gotta feel so awesome that you know that you're relating to people like that. People are relating to you, and it's like that's
And
priceless.
there's more of us, just so y'all are aware of. There's more of us. So we're building our own little family. And I don't know who's going to be here. I don't know who's leaving out. Because again, with me being sitting here, it's also showing me that people should be with this family or this group or this might be where this person's connection is going to be better. But at the end of the day, Jess, I love you. Like I
I
love you.
love you.
You literally been and just so y'all are aware of the fact, yesterday she was doing something. There's people now, and just so y'all realize how serious this is, they're now creating, because Larisha is right here too. She told me yesterday that there's 3 other people on my channel with her name. And because they know I talked to Larisha, that when Larisha comes on here, I haven't spoken to Larisha in real life, but on here I communicate back and forth with Larisha. So they created pages saying that they have her same name, right? Yesterday I called Jessica after I got off the live, and I'm saying, Jess, what something about the live. She said I wasn't in a live. And I'm saying, yeah, well, there's somebody now, because now what they're doing, whoever is doing it, is now trying to make me think that there are people that I communicate with. So they're now going to, somebody's scouring through my comments because somebody's liking the comments and some other stuff. This has to be the weirdest thing ever for a person to do. Like, why are you doing that?
Oh.
So now they're trying to emulate people that they know that I talk to because they want me to open up to talk to them. I'm not going to talk to you because literally I'm going to call Jessica and look at her face.
No.
But
And
that
that's
chat,
a,
thought it was her.
I don't know if we're what dimension we're in, why that is a thing, but it's a real thing because just like my keys. Why would somebody duplicate? Somebody didn't. My keys said don't duplicate. Yet I went to get my keys and they don't say that anymore. So somebody has. Why would you want my house keys? For what reason?
There's so much stuff that y'all don't realize that is happening, and it could potentially be happening to y'all. And y'all, look, she said Philippines or Nigeria, and y'all don't understand. People don't want to tell because it's going to make you look weird. Like something happened the other day, and the police didn't even show up. Like I called the police, I told the lady what happened, and this lady just called me and said, "Oh, we're going to make note of it." Okay, so then when something happens, then
You gotta take note of it when I got my shotgun out. Shit.
but No, there's people that it's happening to and nobody's saying anything. Y'all don't want to say nothing because your families then try to commit you. Your families then either did some weird stuff saying that, you're crazy, you're this, you're that, or whatever. Meanwhile, back at band camp, all the band camps, mine and y'all's, it's all happening.
Yeah.
It's all happening. So just like when I said something about somebody following me, um, everybody was saying I was crazy up until the tracker shows up on my truck. And then when I take the video of the tracker, then all of a sudden everybody's, oh, that's so dangerous. It was dangerous when I was telling you, but you was trying to act like I was crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's make some stuff make sense. So let's not wait until the incident happens.
Yeah.
Because your keys being missing is dangerous.
It is. And I had to go through this house and make sure that shit was reinforced. And even if you got my key, you still ain't getting in.
But it looks crazy.
Yeah. Who would take your keys? Why would they want your keys? I couldn't tell you, but I know it happened.
Because there was something written on her keys that only she knew what was written on them. It don't say that no more though.
Yeah. Which is it just mind boggles me. I'm like, I'm a single woman with 2 young children. My mind goes to like why would you want my keys? Yeah.
So
So
this
you
is the
you
thing.
really you really do have to protect yourself out there, and don't think that you're crazy at all, because you're not, because the shit is happening. The shit is definitely happening. And don't be afraid to confide in someone. Everybody has got to have somebody, whether it's you or, even just speaking it, just get it out. Because once you get it out, it makes it be recognized in the energy. And
Yeah.
then something done about it.
And we are starting to build a collective of people, that we can communicate with and we can talk back and forth to. But everybody's not just gaining access around here because it just is
Mm-hmm.
what it is. It's a lot of weird stuff that's happening. And we are a group of people that's used to weird. But when it get weird to us, they gotta be real, real weird.
Mm-hmm.
So hold on. Catherine says, so true to your prayer. God is what sustains you. When you can keep from entering your higher vibrations, from entering through the lower chakras into your heart and on up, they keep you stuck. And she
That's the
said they have so much.
they put frequencies on people. You may not even hear the frequency, and you wondering why you're stuck.
Catherine says they are linked to those who have been in our lives, whether we are still there in it or not. And that's what she just said about frequency. I literally was sitting here and I called her the other day because that thing that Catherine just said, when they can keep you from entering your higher vibrations, from entering through the lower chakras into your heart and on up, they can keep you stuck. Now imagine you get a group of people who can manifest through anything. And
Mm-hmm.
a person I can manifest through anything.
So
So
can I. Yep.
just imagine you now can't control that. So you may have glitched me for a second, but I learned how to manifest even through the situation, right? So the other day I called her because somebody, when they're trying to do this thing to me, I can feel what's happening. So I called her. I said, Jess, somebody just tried to turn the frequency up on me because I literally heard it when it went up. Why are you doing that? But
Mm-hmm.
been on a live, I heard we were on a live on YouTube, and I said everything went silent. And other people on the live heard it too. Like, and that's what they were saying. Like, that's eerie silence. And the weird part is, I guess the chat doesn't save like to the YouTube once they're out of it. But how is it that everybody at the same time heard the frequency shift?
Yep. Yep. Yep.
That's not a made up thing. If multiple people are feeling it, that just means
Exactly.
people are sensitive to it. It's like a dog whistle.
Mm-hmm.
Only certain levels of people can hear it. So it might be, somebody that is trying to get the attention of certain people and let me see who can hear this wavelength or who can't. But why you doing that?
Yep. Why are you trying to keep people trapped?
Yeah,
Why
why
not
are you trying to keep
able
people?
to?
Why are you trying to figure out why a person can manifest through chaos? Because everybody can't do that. So whatever it is they're trying to do to keep anybody stuck, keep your mom stuck.
Oh.
That. Keep yourself stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Because apparently
Well,
you got to be stuck. Apparently our little group then turned into like a science project. Let's figure out how we can play with them. Play with your
I
mom.
don't like being in science, but I don't like being poked and I don't like being prodded. So I ain't nobody's science project.
Me either. I don't. So at the end of the day, if y'all are people who are experiencing certain things and y'all know y'all can't, like, because again, we are a group of people that we know we can't talk to certain people, and it's understandable. Because otherwise, you're gonna find yourself up in them little suits like this.
Yeah. Here's the last rule of thumb. Don't ever fall asleep with terror on. Period.
Don't ever fall asleep with YouTube on unless it's a frequency that you trust.
Yeah, ever. That's a good one to live by.
And check the frequency. Listen to like sound bath and all that. Like I'm literally getting ready to. I'm once I'm able to get it, I'm gonna do the sound bath myself, and then it'll be on the channel, and y'all will know that y'all can come here and listen to it, and I'll put it on a loop and everything else. Because some of that I don't trust, and
Yeah,
it just is.
trust in there.
But if anybody wants to send me that, it's in my Amazon wish list as well, but I will get it as soon as I'm able to. But if somebody's able to send it, please, you can send it to me. It's the sound bowls. They are already linked in there because I definitely want to do it. And I'll set the hours and try to put it on loop and everything else, and then that you can sleep to that. But not lying. Don't fall asleep to no, because y'all don't think.
You don't know what you be doing the next day. Like, what the hell?
She said, sadly, it's closer than my pillow when I've been new to put the furthest away from me. Well, some of us are just sleeping with the enemy anyway. So, I mean, it could just be the people laying right next to it. So that's the other thing. So
Yeah.
certain things, it just is what it is. But Melba said the present. Yes, you got to be in the present, and being in the present is important. But if they can keep you like in a state of stressed out in the present, then they think that's not helping. But now
Yeah.
there's a group of people that know how to manifest through it all.
Yeah. And if you're
So
in the present, you're in your power. They can't take that away from you.
want to be me. Yes, they want to be you, honey. And y'all, just so y'all aware of, like, we don't know everything. We're trying to figure it out. So even in the
We're
process,
still
there
on
may
journey.
get wrong. We're on the journey. There may be some stuff that we get wrong, but we're not going to be afraid to say, okay, y'all, this is what happened, and this is how we figured this out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to hide nothing from y'all that basically, I sleep alone, even though he claims I'm evil. I don't know how though. Because they project it, and that's what they want you to think. They want you to think that you're evil. They want you to
Yep.
think you're the problem. If I can get you to think that you're the problem, then you won't be looking at
If you
the
take
problem.
yourself out, then that's easier for
Oh,
me.
God, that's even a better thing because
Yeah.
that's one of the things they try to do. Like, you do it for me.
Yep.
You take yourself down that road, that put yourself on that island, so then I ain't got to worry about you.
Yep.
Yes or no? But either way,
Here comes Barbie.
so guys,
Well, I gotta go.
coming
I
to
gotta go feed my babies. And thank you for having me.
thank you for being here. I love you, and look, I'm about to call you anyway, so it ain't gonna matter.
All right. I'll talk to you.
But anyway, so everybody, thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for engaging. Thank y'all for tuning in. And if you can share the live, share it, please. If you know of a friend that need to talk to a friend, send them to my email. Okay. So thank y'all, love y'all, and see y'all later.